What you post, people think that this is stupidness, you know. What you post on your social media is part of your resume. What you post, if you say man is dog, man is this, and it's a set of information that just mindless, it's part of your resume. And who is going to approach somebody who believes that man is dog every day? Who going to go in the DMs and say, a girl, can we go out? Probably a dog. What is that? What you post is part of your resume. That's just how it is. Be mindful of what you post. Be mindful of what you put in your space. Your conversation can't be about love and hip-hop, LMN, and celebrity gossip. We can't go out tonight and talk about that, right? True? I don't want to hear about Kanye West and Kim Kardashian.
Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. Good night, everybody. And welcome again to another edition of The Senate. I am your host, Neil Hoyt. Always is my brother from another mother, one of my very, very good friends, long time, forever it feels like at this point. My brother in arms, Derek Marshall.
Yeah, man. I am here. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of The Senate. We are here. We're feeling good. We are ready to go tonight. How you doing, my brother?
Right. Man, I good, yeah. I good. Rolling with the punches, improving every day, trying my best to, improve and make the next day better than the last day, So I good, man. I still here, still plugging. I enjoying the vibe. I enjoying where I am now. What about you? How is everything?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm great. One step at a time, one day at a time. That 1% every day. Once you chase that down in life, you tend to do a little bit better every time. So, yeah, man. I'm happy to hear that you're well. I'm feeling well. I got some news. I'm not sure how I feel about it in terms of more online school next term, but we work with it.
Yeah.
We work with it. It is what it is, and we made the best of the situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man. Let us first. You gotta plug your stuff. We're doing some things a little different. My man Derek, he's in charge of the marketing for all of what's going on because he's a very social guy, So he made the suggestion of instead of music, we have music videos, and G Syndicate has a plethora of music videos. They have music videos going as far back as what? You would have to tell me.
It was 2018, I think, 2017. Yeah, 2017, yeah. I think. We started really trying to put out a video with most of the stuff we release. And we've been able to do that. I think it saved one song. But aside from that, we've been doing a pretty good job of being able to get a video associated with this stuff. It's been a little difficult trying to record stuff in COVID times, but again, we are living in new and different times, and these are the times that you work with what you have and you make the best of it. So shout out to Mark Seeley. If you watch the last video we showed with Woman, which is our latest release, you would have noticed that he conceptualized it, shot it, edited it, directed it, everything. So he was the chief cook and bottle washer on that, and I think it came out pretty well.
I mean,
you as a filmmaker yourself,
yeah,
probably able to appreciate that.
Self-phone's going up, boy.
Self-phone's going up. So yeah, if you want to get some film work done, you can shout out Mark Seeley. You can shout out Neil too as well, and I'm sure the two of them can, work collaboratively and give you a nice package that you can book them, and they will come and record your stuff for you. Of course, you could pay me a 10 or 15% commission for working out this deal for you at the beginning of this. But as usual, check out G Syndicate 6, man, gsyndicate6.com, G Syndicate 6 on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. We are generally all over the place, so you can check out our content there. Usually some interesting stuff. Shout out the rest of the guys, Kiomal, Waden, Brett, and Antonio. mentioned Mark already. So shout them out, man. Big ups to the guys. I don't want you to believe either that this is purely incestuous and that we're only pushing G Syndicate music. So if you have your own music that you and your videos and stuff that you would like to see at the beginning of the show, feel to me or Neil. As a matter of fact, we have an email address, right, Neil?
Yeah, the email address is on screen right now. It's under the chat. Send it in session@gmail.com.
Right. So
just yeah.
Yeah, and only today we set up our own Instagram page as well, so you can follow us on Instagram now. We are the Senate 246, the Senate Podcast 246 on Instagram, so you can check us out there as well. So don't let me stick up too much with formalities. Good night, guys. I see Philip in here early talking with the man got a whole video. Yes, we do. Big ups, Philip. Here all the time, loving the content. Jennifer, good night to you. Shout out Keyboard, the comedian of the channel. Shout out to Omar Bourne in the crank early again, loving it. And Steve Walker, another regular. We are loving you guys and your contributions on a nightly basis. We loving it, man. We really appreciate it. We're happy to have you all here. And tonight, we want to talk about what is on your resume. What is on your relationship resume, right? Everybody wants what they want. We get it. And that looks like different things for different people. They say different strokes for different folks, right? So I did a little bit of digging. To find out, in general, what women want from men in a relationship, what men want from women in a relationship. And I'm going to start with say ladies first. So we're going to start with the ladies tonight. And I went to bold.com, BOLDE.com. And it gave me 11 things that a woman wants from a man in a relationship. So ladies, if that are here already and in early tonight, you can just go down this list. As I called them, you can make a mental note if you want to. Keep track and see if these things are accurate, if they apply to you or not. If you know of your girlfriends that applies to, and let me know, all right? You can just put it in the chat, right? So here we go. 1, financial independence. 2, intelligence. 3, street smarts. 4, a social life. 5, honesty. 6, a shared sense of humor. 7, sex appeal. 8, respectfulness. 9, a healthy mind. 10, affection. 11, a good relationship with his family. And this is the man having a good relationship with his family.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to run them down again. These are the 11 things that women want from men in a relationship. And this is according to bold.com, BOLDE.com, right? And I don't want to assume that they are in hierarchical order. They just happen to come out this way, right? Mm-hmm. I'm assuming they're in random order. So we come down again. 1, financial independence, intelligence, street smarts, social life, honesty, a shared sense of humor, sex appeal, respectfulness, a healthy mind, affection, and finally at number 11, in the Courtney Walsh position, a good relationship with his family, right? I just want to touch on a couple of them because they may or may not be self-explanatory. Let me come down. Where was it? Shared sense of humor. Shared sense of humor in that you kind of laugh at the same kind of jokes. If you have a darker sense of humor, you wouldn't want somebody who's a little touches on certain things. And if you have no sense of humor at all, you wouldn't want somebody who's a clown. You know what I mean? Yeah, I think that was the only one that I felt might have needed a bit of explanation, right? Mm-hmm. And then I wanted to get a little bit more clarity, you know. I went to Psychology Today. And Psychology Today kind of broke it down into 3 sets of traits, right? So we started with the moral integrity traits. These are the things that women want in men, right? Moral integrity traits.
And before you continue, Derek, I just want any women that are watching, once me and my Derek finish or whatever, y'all can obviously sound off in the chat and let us know if that applies to how you feel, or if you believe those things are kind of off base.
All right, cool. Now this is Psychology Today, all right, guys?
Mm-hmm.
Or the moral integrity traits. There were 4 of them: open communication, honesty, trust and trustworthiness, and 4, taking responsibility.
Accountability.
Right? Accountability, right? Then they went on to relational sensitivity traits. And there were 5 of these. So you had kindness, patience. Ironically, the first set I'm going to list are really 1 point. So kindness, patience, understanding, empathy, and compassion are all 1 point.
Sheesh.
They're all number 1, right?
Right.
Kindness, patience, understanding, empathy, compassion, all 1 point. 2, friendship. 3, emotional maturity. 4, support, both practical and emotional support. And 5, sensitivity coupled with the validation of your partner's experiences, right? Gonna go into that a little bit because I felt like that might have needed a little bit of explanation as well, right? And it said the cultural experiences of adults vary greatly based on gender identity. Recognize your own biases in how you view other women and imagine how your partner might be negatively affected by a world that sees women as less than. Don't assume she is making things up when she shares stories of prejudice, discrimination, or unfair treatment. Gender roles constrain behavior, playing a part in breaking down harmful gender roles at home and in the workplace benefits both men and women. Right? Let me read that again just to make sure you read it well. Gender roles constrain behavior, playing a part in breaking down harmful gender roles at home and in the workplace benefits both men and women. Don't make women jump a higher bar to prove themselves. Women and men should be afforded the same rewards for the same investment. Gender shouldn't be a disadvantage in a relationship or a workplace. And really and truly, ladies and gents, that sounds a lot like the original intention of feminism, right? Equal opportunity, right? For both genders, right? So far we have moral integrity traits, relational sensitivity traits, and now we're going to move on to intimacy traits. I am not in the chat, Neil, so you can let me know if we have anybody in agreement or disagreement with what I've said so far.
Well, Charmaine, only thing is Charmaine John, she joined us. Thanks for joining. I never saw his name before. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone. I just stumbled upon this, and it seems rather interesting. So, I guess
Well, good to have you, Charmaine. We hope it's still interesting as you listen on, right? So, intimacy traits. Ladies want their man to bring adventure and excitement to the relationship. They want companionship and partnership. Yep. They want their partners to show love. And number 4 I found interesting. They say, don't make everything about sex. Right? And then number 5, with relation to sex, it says, please your partner, not just yourself. Right? Please your partner, not just yourself.
Not just yourself.
And those are that's 4 and 5 make 9 and 5 make 14. 14 things according to Psychology Today. Right? I also checked Psychology Today for what men want, which I found interesting. And yeah, let's put it up there for what men want in a relationship. And the gentlemen in the chat, you can let me know if I am, well, if psychology today, not me, if psychology today is on point or not, right? And what do men want? One, a man deeply wants you to like him and to love him for himself and not just what he can do for you.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
gents, if that is the case, put some ones in the chat.
Yeah,
Two,
that includes me too.
yeah, that includes you too. That was number two. He wants you to like yourself, right? Um,
Oh.
yeah, and I from personal experience, I can say that that's probably one for me. Three, he wants you to believe in his ability to communicate. Yeah, men can communicate, and we do communicate, probably more than people recognize. And it is a bit of a trope that men don't communicate and don't want to communicate. But I have found that men don't communicate like women. We communicate differently. So they think something gets lost in translation a little bit. But we can move on. Gentleman wants you to be playful. All women are different, yes, but you don't want it. A guy doesn't want to feel like if he's walking on eggshells around his woman. You know what I mean? So that shared sense of humor that we talked about with the women, yeah, same thing kind of applies here with a man. Maybe just take a joke if you want, for want of a better term. And then
Yes, sir.
and five, men want you to know that boys do cry. We do have stuff that gets to us, that bothers us, that hits home, hits deep, and we get in our feelings a little bit, even if some of us don't show it. And we want our partners to be sensitive to that and to appreciate that. So if it is that something is troubling you, you don't want a woman that's going to be so, man, just man, I deal with that day or get
Yeah.
over
That's saying
that.
that's saying that you feelings about that.
Yeah,
You know,
that kind
your feelings. Let me talk to you later.
yeah. So those are the things that men want from women in a relationship. And I'm using psychology today. Psychology today had 14 for women and 5 for men. I found that interesting in itself.
We are not that complicated, women. We are
Yeah,
literally not that complicated.
I found that very, very interesting and a little amusing too, to be fair. But after I did a little bit of research, I came up with some questions, right? And as always, you know me, you and I sit on different sides of the fence where, marriage is concerned. And so I asked the questions. Can one person meet all the criteria that you have required to make you happy? Can you find everything in that one person? Right? So don't go yet. Don't go yet. We can put them out there. Let me get some food. This is food for thought, right? Then, guys, do the confines of marriage reasonably allow for a person to achieve happiness within the marital union, right? Because when I look here, there's a lot. There's a lot of stuff. And you have to be really evolved, particularly as a man, to meet some of the criteria that I see here. And then, so, having said that, is it now incumbent upon an individual to bring the best version of themselves into a relationship so that their partner requires less?
No, my brother, that's a lot. No. Let me read the chat real quick. Sharmin is saying thank you. Omar Brathwaite, good night. Good night, brother. What's up? Terencia is here. Good night. How you doing? Charmaine is here. She's saying one up on the ball. Yes, that's right. Omar Bourne kept buying, boom buying, ones. And Natalia is here. Good night, Natalia. So there's a lot to unpack here, right? There's a great deal to unpack. So let's start from women. You made your own clone out of plasticine. Interesting. That's Jennifer saying that. Let me go back to the women, right? And let's talk about what we were the original discussion about what's on your resume, right?
What's on
So
your resume?
right. Oh, whoa. The chat just went crazy. Oh, it repeated. I don't know why the chat repeated itself. But regardless, um, so what women want? Women, the initial question is, or the initial topic is, do men and women fit what they're looking for? Do they mirror what they're looking for? Do they exemplify what they're looking for? What's on your resume, right? We heard Kivo at the beginning, him talking about what you post on social media and what you energies you bring around you and stuff like that. And I know a little later on we want to talk about friends and how they influence your relationship and whatever, right? But it is very interesting because based on what you said about men and women, and for the men, I could add a bit of some of what the women into that too, because sex is a very important thing for us. I know they the general thing of saying playfulness, but in terms of intimacy and sex, we do have certain desires there as well. But anyhow, long and short of it is women want what they want, and I think by and large everybody can agree to what
It's
women
cool
want
with
here.
that. Yeah.
Right. No, no, here's the question, right? You want in a man all of these things. No, I am a big proponent of do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Do you live by that? So we talked about men want women to know that we cry too, we have feelings too, we have emotions too. And while we may still face it and not respond, not message or whatever, we still feel a way. Words do hurt us too, situations do hurt us too. And I found myself kind of asking myself this question more and more. The way women treat men, how would they feel if men treat them? Right?
Okay.
I could give like an example being, you're talking to somebody, you're dating somebody or whatever, and she says something that she may be joking, she may not be joking or whatever, but it hurts your feelings. And you feel a type of way. So you act kind of cold, standoffish. You may even say, look, what you said just now hurts my feelings. I can hurt you, get you can let that get you feelings this and that next. I have heard that. Many men have heard that. But then it makes me wonder if I did the same thing to a woman, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where it hurt her feelings, which has happened, where I obviously I'm a very playful, jovial person, at times joking and all sorts of things. And I hurt a woman's feelings and she lets me know that I've hurt her feelings. I cannot imagine telling the woman, you need to get out your feelings. I can't, that will not end well.
It won't.
And
It won't.
and and the thing is, I find women and men, because let's be honest, right? Men are not totally absolved of this,
Of
but
course
I
not.
find that women, from a man's perspective, and obviously engaging women on a very intimate level, exclusively, you you kind of have situations where you are, sex is they're not playful, um, they're saying things and being mean and that kind of thing, saying things that should roll off your back or they believe should roll off your back, but it doesn't. And if you do the flip to them, that won't happen. Like you could call a woman and a woman can decline your call. You could call back again, she would decline your call. You say, all right, cool. You know what? They're probably doing some work or she's probably busy. Let a woman call you and you decline the call. The next time you answer is like, you decline my call. Well, you can't take my call just now. Who woman you was with? You ignoring me, you screening me. And these are things that I just don't understand, right? Because I'm not expecting women to think like men, and I'm not expecting men to think like women. But at the end of the day, still, there are certain things and certain energies you put out there that we as men have to deal with, but we process information differently. So therefore, the same way we are told not to assume, not to jump to conclusions, not to get in our feelings and this and that and the next, you won't want somebody to tell you that. So the same way, and this goes back to the resume thing, what you was on your resume, what you're looking for, the same way women want these things in a man and what are important to them in a man, means that you got to kind of have that sort of compassion in yourself too. You have to have that sort of what you want inside you too. Like I was listening to that list of women, what women want and what men want. And I'm like, it's very interesting that a lot of those things I have in myself. I kind of reflect those things. I'm a very, sense of humor. I always make sure that whomever I'm around, whether, I'm in a relationship with them or not, that, everybody having a good time. Once I'm comfortable with you and stuff, I always cracking jokes. I always talking some foolishness or whatever, right? And I don't think I have the greatest sense of humor in the world, but you know what I mean? I would still get a smile out of you, even if I tell them a corny joke. In terms of being honest, being kind, those are sort of things I try to exemplify as often as I can. I try to be compassionate, try to think of others, try to create a space where you don't feel like you feel trusted and there is trust, right? All of those things that you just read for both men and women are things that you should be seeking for within yourself to reflect from somebody else. So therefore, if you have these things in yourself, you're going to attract what you reflect in yourself. What you have in yourself, you're going to attract, right? Whatever is on your resume, you are going to attract. So if you're a person that is not kind, you got a messed sense of humor, you ain't want the boy to be in the feelings, this and next, you will attract what you put out. So it is very important. And a lot of women and men, well, men don't really talk about these things. You see, that's the thing. Men, you have to go and ask them, what their experiences and stuff like that. But with women, they put this stuff on social media and they're very open and forthcoming with saying things like, they want this in a man, they want that in a man. But as my man Kivo said, every day you talk about men is dogs. Men is dogs. Every day, men is dogs. Men are dogs. Men are dogs. Right? We know some people personally, well, not personally, but like in our sphere on social media, that are quick to say that men got essentially prove that they're worthy of women. And I've heard women say, y'all men ain't worthy. And I'm like, but if you put in out that energy that men ain't worthy, and you put out that energy that men are dogs, and you put out that energy that men gotta jump through hoops and stuff, like I had to tell a woman, I literally had to tell a woman last week, like, yo, she was like, y'all men ain't worthy. I was like, we men ain't worthy? You think that I am not a catch too? You don't think that you gotta kind of jump through hoops to but my side too? Because at the end of the day, I value myself. I value the things I bring in a relationship. I value the awareness, self-awareness, and consideration I have for women and for my partner. Therefore, the same way you could come and talk about y'all men ain't worthy, I could say that about women too, but I choose not to because I am discerning with whom to let into my space and whom not. You understand? I see Charmaine here talking about dogs are very loyal. I never got this statement. Well, I think they mean like dirty or whatever, but the truth of the matter is, right? Basically, what I'm saying here is it is very important. Women have a laundry list. They've made it abundantly clear. They have a laundry list of things they want their man to be, from physical to emotional to sexual to financial. All the O's. They want men to be a lot of things, right? Men don't put that out there, or rather, what men put out there is very physical, right? Because we don't talk about those things. We don't push that energy out there, right? So if you want a man to be stable in all of these different subsections, and you want the man to look like this, and you want the man to carry himself, and to have this in his bank account, and that in his garage, and that in his heart, and his soul, and his mind, what myself, I'm looking to bring all of these things, and I'm looking to bring essentially a superhuman energy toward the relationship. And you just there like, yeah, keep jumping through hoops. I could treat you any way I want. I could tell you anything I want. I could move any way I want with you. But you love me, so you gotta take it. And I'm a catch. I'm a diva, so you gotta take. Yo, women gotta realize, right? I ain't saying all men are good, just like I'm not saying all women are not queens. I am saying that if you see a man that is a catch, stop making him man jump through hoops. Stop putting up this facade that you are a queen. You're a Queen Elizabeth. And every man walking about here is a peon. because y'all gonna miss out on some real kings. And men that are kings ain't really got the time and energy to be jumping through hoops and battling Bowser for you and you know what I mean, trying to be the last boss to get at you. That's a fact. Men do not like that negative energy. Right? I see we got some comments there. You could hit up
Yeah,
those.
man. Let me do these things. Yeah, good night, Tanya. I see you jumped in.
Good night, Tanya.
Is Charmaine or Charmaine? It is Charmaine. The things I look for in a relationship are the things I'm willing to give. That's great. Omar says you can't find all the qualities you want in one person because none of us are perfect. We are supposed to complement each other. That's the way it's supposed to be. But society and the system have us looking for the perfect person, which causes most of the relationship issues. It's the system, fam, as my man Lawrence M would say. Charmaine says dogs are very loyal. I never got that statement. Yeah, dogs are loyal, and men are loyal too. I'm going to put that out here now. You heard it here first on the state. Men are loyal. As a matter of fact, right? This men cheat at like 28%. Yeah, and women cheat at like 24%. The challenge with that is that there are more women than men. So
time out. I had this conversation with somebody, a woman this week, right? And I was actually, you remember last week we were having we were liming with the boys, right? We had a little Senate session in person, and we were talking to some young ladies, and she was laughing at our shirts about loyalty and stuff like that, right? Mm-hmm. And I was retelling that story to a friend of mine, and I started to realize, men are loyal to a point where a man would be cheating, but still maintain he ain't left his wife, maintain that he still loves his wife, and maintain that he ain't ever leave out his wife. Now, I know that concept don't make sense to some people out there, especially women, right? But a man sometimes just needs to get sexually fulfilled. And don't be like, oh, so he ain't getting that home. Chances are he's not.
He's not.
chances are you don't want the man touch you. You good with twice a month or once a month. And the man got to go externally to feel validated as a man, to get sex, to get some semblance of ease, because at home you always crawling and keeping noise and all sorts of things. And the truth is, right, after all of that, the man still ain't leaving you. Man ain't leaving you. Man ain't leaving the house. He ain't leaving the children, nothing like that. I know of a situation where a man has been married to a woman. Children are like our age. So they've been married for donkey years. And the man has had extramarital affairs and has another family otherwhere. But my man ain't leaving home. My man ain't divorcing his wife. My man, as a matter of fact, my man holds fast to the role of a husband in a marriage. Obviously, other than the infidelity. But loyalty is one of those things, right? People think about loyalty as in, oh, that means you give away your the same way men give away their bodies is not loyal. It's the same way women sometimes give their emotional attention to somebody else, and that is infidelity too. So, but does that mean that you're not loyal?
Lord have mercy! I can't wait for this chat kick up.
Okay, well, it's starting to kick.
Oh Lord, this chat can get hot. I can see. Jennifer is saying, Neil, problem is men think differently than women. We are different beings, and that is a fact. As she says, we just have to match energies. When you say match energies, what do you mean? Because I hear energies, and I think male energy, female energy, masculine energy, feminine energy, and that's me. So if you could shed a little bit of light on what you mean exactly, Jennifer, that'd be great, because I don't think you want a man with feminine energy.
Also, too, right, and Jennifer, you see that statement you said about men or women are different beings? I wish more women would understand that across the board. I wish women would understand that men and women are different, meaning that how they move in life, the certain roles in terms of domestication and everything like that will be different.
Correct. Natalia asked the question, see why energy is important. Tanya, man, Neil, some women, not most in my opinion. Neil killing me, said Jennifer Blair, Master Bowser, lol. Yes, he did say Bowser. Omar's cackling. Good evening, Jets. Good evening, Blair. Good to have you again as
Yeah,
usual.
Blair, man, what's up?
Steve, women should stop moving the bar and changing the rules constantly. If is it a case of you don't know what you really want and trying to figure out as you go along, you tend to know what you don't want. Good point, Kwame. Welcome, my brother. Good to see you as usual. We need to have a chat.
Yeah,
We
Kwame, what's up?
males and females use the same words but mean different things, and
Oh my.
that's a fact. Even with energy, just now we got two different kind of. We could possibly have two different meanings. Jennifer says that is trifling. I'm assuming she's meaning the fact that a man could step out and do his thing and come back home. Let me say here that women do it too, and that is
Hey,
a fact. Um,
hey.
Having been in a situation that was less than above board, um, I am. Yeah, we talk honestly here.
Mhm.
Having been the side guy before, um, I was told very early, "Hey, look, Derek, I care for you a lot. You mean a lot to me. Um, be tight, but I love my husband. I am not leaving my husband and family. This is good. It is what it is, and it was for me to accept that role.
But isn't
You
that
know,
loyalty though on her
yeah,
part?
yeah, yeah.
When they left any
I
mark?
think we need to. Let me go through this chat and then come back.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah.
Jennifer says it's trifling. Omar says never. Neil, I never think of it that way, but what you're saying is so true. Natalia, I feel energy should complement, not match. Amen. Jennifer, that comes with experience, Neil. Jamie, welcome. Good to see you again. But men have feminine
Jamie
energies
T.
too. Derek, yes, that is true. But Jamie, I assure you, anytime you got a man that is exhibiting more feminine energy than male, you do not want to see him. I am
Mm-hmm.
certain of that. Um, and Natalia agrees with me, right? You do not want a man that's going to come and say, "Girlfriend, we saying, I really want to keep on a date, man, come and get dinner with me." Anybody in the chat can respond and let me know, the ladies here, if that's how you want a man to approach you. If it is, that is
But
news
Derek,
to me in
but the thing is,
2021.
well, you're going exaggerated, right? But I would even not even go that far. Even if a man is a man that, let's say, he watches a movie and he starts to cry. Let's say he has a hard day at work, he comes home, he cries. He's a person that cries very easily. He's overwhelmed emotionally and he cries often. That could be
Yeah.
a sign of feminine energy as well,
For
because it doesn't
example,
have to be the speech.
no, check it. There was an MMA fighter. I forget her name. She was in a relationship with another MMA fighter, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is MMA, all right?
Mm-hmm.
Mixed martial
Mm-hmm.
arts. And this guy was in the ring, right? She, as his girlfriend, was watching this fight. And he's in a fight, a literal fight. And at one point in the fight, he did like this. And at that point, that woman admitted she lost all respect for that guy. Because to her mind, it's just a feminine position. It's just a
What?
feminine position. So she was like, nah, he ain't man enough for me. And this dude getting his ass beat in a ring.
Shoot.
And
So
because
what
he
he's to
did it,
do?
because he
So he's supposed
winced,
to take licks?
she found him to be less of a man. And that relationship was doomed thereafter, right?
So the man to get your ass kicked and
Pretty
not defend
much.
himself?
Man, I tell you licks, right? Um, on another note as well, if you got a man that he coming home and every little thing, every mountain, molehill turns into a mountain. Every little thing he picking at, he quarrel about this, he quarrel about that. The first thing women will say, man, you like a woman. The first thing, man, you get like a woman, and that kind of energy is way, 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 way less attractive than more masculine energy. Right? You do
But you
not want a feminine man.
but Derek, you know that we can't win because check. if we show vulnerability, we cry every now and then, we open, we share, and we move kind of like emotionally, you know,
Stoic.
vulnerable. Right. Right? If we move like that, they can say, well, you need to man up. You and your
Be stoic.
feelings. All right.
Women want you
So
to be
no man,
stoic.
so no, but hold on. Because I used to be a very stoic person. I used to be emotionally like in my 20s and early 30s. I was
Thank
a
you, Omar.
man I was a man that ain't sharing nothing. You understand me? As far as I'm concerned, this is my issue. I can deal with it. Women used to be asking me what wrong with me. I'd be like, nah, nothing. I good. I don't hear from me a few days. Well, as I sort through my feelings. And you know what? That's a problem too. You need to share more. You need to be more open. So it's like it's a catch 22, right? And the thing is, we are told to either man up, shut up, get out your feelings, or to share more and to be vulnerable. With a woman, right? You tell the woman, all right, just we need to share more or we need to talk about just be like, you can't tell me how to express myself. You can't tell me how to be vulnerable. You gotta take me as I am. So it is one of those things where I find that again, I am speaking from a male's perspective. Men have struggles too in relationships. And we have feelings too when it comes to relationships. I'm not telling a woman how and how she should not, but the same way that women can tell us how we should act, feel, move, say, when to open doors, when to buy flowers, we men need to start normalizing the things we want, need, and feel uncomfortable with, and things we feel comfortable with. Because I think we have always fell in the trap of not expressing ourselves emotionally and saying what bothers us and what we need and what we want. And people feel, well, men can take any old thing, because them don't say it. But women have normalized it for themselves. And women now feel empowered to say, well, shoot, you could tell me, you can't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to say. Nobody can tell you what to do or to say.
Which is
But
what I said last week. Gentlemen, something is bothering you, say what it is. Don't hold
yeah,
it back
bro.
because, and I tell you guys when we meet, even in our chat privately and in person, women will say what's on their mind, irrespective of how it lands, and men have to pick it up and deal with it. Right? They have to deal with it, irrespective of how it lands. And the gentleman, you can bear me out. Women don't care about your feelings, man. They got something to tell you. Believe you me, right? So I'm not saying to be insensitive in your delivery of what you're going to say, but certainly say what you have to say. Jennifer, she says energy as in what you bring to the situation. So if a person bringing 10%, you put 10%. But what would be the point of 10%? But they get your point. Jennifer, Tonya, some people don't leave because of the discomfort of having to change their lives, mostly not loyalty, division of assets, etc., men nor women. It is hard to start over, plain and simple. Correct, Tonya. That is very, very
Oh,
true.
oh, oh, I
Um,
want to address that. Just don't lose that point. I want to address that.
yeah. Kwame says the story about the MMA kills him every time. Miriam Nakamoto, thank you, Omar. That is your name. Blair says, I am listening to Talk Podcast. Yes, I do, sir. I notice that you do as well. Um,
I
we must have a chat one of these
think
days.
we,
That story
I
had
think
me
we
tight.
told.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really would love the opportunity to sit and have a discussion with, particularly with the gentlemen, a live in-person discussion. But that's another story for another time.
Mm.
Vera says that story had me tight, but that's how she felt. Sad, but that's her truth. And Jennifer says there's nothing wrong with being vulnerable. There's a lot wrong with being vulnerable, Jennifer. A lot, particularly as a man. Kwame, what Nia just said is why the hashtag stay toxic is gaining traction because no one really wants a picture of the new man that's being talked about. At the end of the day, the traditional male is still valued. Yes, the traditional male is still valued. Why? Because the traditional male is strong. The traditional male generally tends to be a more successful male. If you look through the 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 through time, history, powerful men, the men who have ruled over earth and stuff like that, they've been more often than not been attractive men. They've had their pick of the litter when it came to women. They had a lot of money, they had resources and stuff like that. You know what I mean? So we need to kind of get away from this thinking of this feminine man, please, it does know it, because, and I love to ask this because I know when you say you want a guy who's caring and sweet and kind and all these different things, and are almost effeminate. I'll ask the question though: do you want your son to be an effeminate man? I'll leave that there for the ladies to answer. Right, Jennifer. It is because society has conditioned our men not to cry and show emotion, and we have done our men a disservice. And while that may be true, men have recognized that there's nothing to be gained from showing that vulnerability. You know, you almost get preyed upon, particularly if you. And I'll cop to this. I'll say, you know, particularly if you haven't chosen well, if you got somebody around you who is not necessarily looking out for your best interest, to show that vulnerability is almost a sin, because you get hammered for it, and you definitely don't benefit from showing that. Dion, welcome, Dion. Good to see you.
Dion,
as usual. I clearly in the minority here. I prefer you to talk and express, because my superpower is not mind reading. Same applies for men. We do not read minds. Tanya agrees with that, as does Natalia. Trust that you are. I am about guessing. And Charmaine agrees as well. Omar, I cried with my daughter born, and at her first ballet recital, I called weak. But when the same person matched my cards and I later them, I get called as aggressive. Yep. Blair facts there, women don't have the accountability that we as men have, and especially in man to woman situations. Derek, you talking BS about traditional men, okay, if you think so. Right, Blair again. Derek, we can link as you ready, sure, no problem. Who said anything about feminine? That's Jennifer. Natalia, so if you're in a committed relationship / marriage, it's really hard. It's really still that hard to be vulnerable to your partner. That's another story. Tanya, who said they wanted an effeminate man, ladies? Okay, Kwame is talking about Dion. I don't think it's about not talking or expressing. I think it's about how and why. If down to how you roll the toothpaste becomes an issue then, or if it's always pointing out problems versus discussing solutions. Here's the problem with talking and expressing, right? Men have found that trying to have the discussion, trying to talk, is not necessarily something that people want from us. You get a lot of insults, you get a lot of shaming, that kind of stuff comes in. You get belittled sometimes. So men are a little bit more hesitant to kind of share. That's just the reality. Claire says you're acting like they can't both exist in one man. Sensitive, successful, but manly.
But you see, I read in these comments, right? And I gotta say something right now. Well, I don't necessarily. I hear what you say about traditional man, about the men throughout history and everything like that, right? But I will say this: these are different times. The world has changed. People have changed, and I do agree there is a space for having traditional values or traits as those men have had, right? However, I would say this: I've seen people saying that, you know, who say anything about not having effeminate, whatever, right? Now, you have to understand something, ladies, and I understand that, you know, our experiences are very varied, very different from how you women think and how you women move. But from our experience, we have been told we need to man up.
Man up.
We need to stop moving like that. Stop talking like that. Stop, you know what I mean? I have, as I said, I used to bottle up things, never used to share. And when I got angry, I used to let loose, right? And I was told that I have been told that when I'm angry, I can be a lot to take in terms of expressing myself, right? Something I'm working on. Not that it's cursing and carry on or whatever, but from a logical standpoint, I try to go by, you know, the whole do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So if you get a free pass with something, I should be able to get a free pass with something, etc. And then over the last 10, 15 years, I've tried to change, share more. A lot of things have come up that I had to address, and it has made me take in stock of certain things. And I have shared more. I have cried more. I have been more, as a matter of fact, in the last 4 years, I've cried more than I've cried in my entire life. And I have been told you always get in your feelings. There's no need to cry. Why it gotta be all of this? It ain't gotta be all of that. I've been told those things by women. And the sad reality is, right, from my experience, I'm not saying this is how it is for everyone. From my experience, it comes down to how, whether you are being a traditional man or an effeminate man, or you just crying, or you just expressing yourself in a vulnerable way. It comes down to how that is perceived. And that is my problem. My problem is that it seems within relationships, right? And this is going from talking with men, talking with women, my own experience, etc., right? Whenever there comes to loggerheads in a relationship, it is never the man's perspective, the man's emotions, the man's feelings take a back seat to the woman's. Because at the end of the day, if the woman doesn't see there's a problem, what are you crying for? If the woman sees it as a problem and you being standoffish, what's the problem here? So I am saying this. I am saying I don't believe that we need to be the men that were in history before. I don't think that we got to be a bunch of girly men. I think there has to be a happy medium. And it starts with men saying, I see in general saying, expand the pool you deal with. So okay, expand the pool that I deal with. So Jennifer,
Stick a pin, you stick a pin, because I find it interesting. Um, because we harping on the effeminate men thing, right? Claire says you're acting like they can't both exist in one man. Sensitive, successful, but manly. All right. Jennifer says that's why you commit suicide instead of saying I need help. I have a good cry and keep it moving. All right. Charmaine, a respect a man that can be honest and vulnerable because he has to be at a stage of comfort in that relationship to express vulnerability and pure honesty. All right. Got it. You hear it good. Tanya says, say how you feel respectfully. You don't need to cry. The excess isn't a requirement. Be as manly as you want. Let me just left out there a little bit. Let me just no. Just left out there a little bit. Just left out there a little bit. I'm gonna read it again for everybody in the chat. Say how you feel respectfully. You don't need to cry. The excess isn't a requirement. Be as manly as you want. I can just left it there. Welcome, TC. Good to see you as always.
yeah.
And I see Claire has brought you up to speed. Women, apparently women want effeminate men and not effeminate sons, and manly men are more successful. And that is probably an oversimplification of what it is, but that's what Tanya is getting as well. And Blair says we're talking about the pacification of the modern man. Okay.
I won't carry that far.
Right. So let me just slide on back to that comment. Say how you feel respectfully. You don't need to cry. The excess isn't a requirement. But why is crying considered excess?
Well, hold on.
And why can't a man cry? Why isn't it manly to cry?
Before you get there, right? You see that? Express yourself respectfully. You see that part? I will say this, right? In every relationship I have been in, whether a casual relationship, a serious relationship, any type of relationship, right? I have been told some things. If I really were to tell you all some of the things some women told me in my relationships, right? To my face, y'all would be like, because you see that from my perspective and from my experiences, you see that say things respectfully, that is a one-sided thing. As Derek said earlier, women can say what they want, and however it land with you, it land. It can be a 10 with the judges, but the Bulgarian can get out too. It don't matter. However, it land. But you see, as soon as a man says something and it is taken the wrong way, or even taken with a hint of emotion or anything like that, drama. That is my experience.
Cool. Kwame, Dion is responding to Kwame's point. She's saying nitpicking is a very different thing, very different from frank conversation. What I will say is, in the same way that I am looking for certain qualities in a partner, if as a man you find yourself with some person who doesn't value the communication, etc., that you bring to the table, maybe that person is not your match. I've been with the non-sharing types, and it's shit because you feel like you're talking to a brick wall. Jennifer says, Neil, maybe you should expand the pool you deal with.
No, I got to talk to that. Don't move. Because I see TC talking about wrong women. People, yeah? Some of you that know me, or some of you that don't know me, right? I have dated a lot of women. Seriously. Yeah? I have not dated every woman everywhere, every time. Granted, my pool may be just a bad batch or whatever, but you see this expand your pool and, wrong women and all that. How would I have found the right women? How I literally going in the pools and circles that are around me. So I don't understand when you all say things like, wrong women or expand your pool. Expand my pool to what? To where?
What I'll say here, Neil, with regard to that, maybe some of our ladies should expand the pool as well.
But that's my point. My point is, right, because as far as I understand, a lot of women are bitter and a lot of women are upset at men, right? Y'all, granted, y'all may have had bad experiences, and that is fine, yeah. But we have all heard generalizations of men. All men are dogs. Men ain't shit.
We heard that tonight.
Listen,
dogs are loyal.
Listen,
somebody said that tonight.
Listen, legitimately, last Saturday, a woman of 27 years old who doesn't know the men said that men aren't loyal. That we had on shirts that had Black King, and one of the things was loyalty 100%. Woman laugh at us to our faces. Men ain't loyal. When a man ain't loyal, from how when a man look and how the man thought when a man ain't loyal. Derek can corroborate what you're talking about.
Facts.
And this woman does not know us. So you know what? The same way we have to expand our pool and be more discerning with the women we choose. And this is the point I'm talking about. There are certain things, right? Jennifer said it earlier, we are different beings. Yeah? But there are certain things that I feel ain't really so different. Choosing the mate for you and not harping on certain things is something that everybody can kind of get to get with. I am speaking based on my experience and the conversations I've had with both men and women. That is where we speak. We don't speak out to we mouth and out to we tail. Yeah, we have had conversations for decades with men and women about certain things. Our partners, women on the street, we buddies in barbershop. Men have spoken in their spaces, and I have talked with women in other spaces. So when we speak on women coming to us saying that we need to man up, and then women telling us that we're too aggressive and that we shouldn't say that, and literally, I feel as if the same thing Derek said last episode or last week. Happy home, happy wife. If a man has a problem in the relationship, there's no problem in the relationship. If a woman has a problem in the relationship, everybody got a problem in the relationship. And that is fact. And the thing of it, some women that I have experienced, they know full well that you love them, you're committed, you're loyal, you're not leaving. Therefore, however you treat this man, you got to take. I'm not saying men don't do that. I am not saying that. I am saying that kind of be more discerning and considerate of our partners' feelings. Yeah? Everybody sometimes get to an emotional loggerhead. You can say something that I ain't gonna like, I can say something that you ain't gonna like, yeah? But we need to create spaces where we can talk about it without going off the deep end and going in weak corners and being vexed and upset. Because as far as I understand, everyone reaches a point where they feel some type of way with what they're told or not, or what they're not told.
Yeah. Yeah. You should expand the pool with which you deal, Neil. Terenzi says, if feminine boys say that, what is wrong with just having some emotional intelligence? And I completely agree. Some emotional
Gotta address
intelligence,
that too.
I get it. Yeah, but hold tight. Um, for me, I had a good friend years ago who told me that she felt it was emotionally constipated. I laugh about it. I find it funny, but I have my own coping mechanisms as a man, right? People will ask me from time to time, "How you doing?" And for me, I have two responses to that. Generally, I would say if you ask if I feel it, throwing you off a little bit, I say tired or horny, but you're biting. That's kind of my go-to. It's kind of mess with people. Or I would say I can't complain, right? Why? People don't care. People generally don't care. So for me, I found other ways to deal with it. For me, when things get a little tight, for me, if I got a lot dealing with, I I used to spend a lot of time on the basketball court because I am who I am and the personality I am. I am able to. I used to go on the court at night, 9:30. I'd be up at Bridgefield by myself in the dark, right, shooting around, whatever. That was my coping mechanism. Sometimes I would go to the beach, take a little swim out, just about half hour, go on back home. Um, because people don't care, right? And the people that are willing to get the information from you, why do they want the information? Is it necessarily is it a case of genuine concern, or do they want essentially news, right? So for me, um, as a man, and generally more stoic, I guess, and yeah, I get it for my mother, believe it or not, um, that's me. I'm a bit more stoic. I hold frame a little bit. I just kind of I I have no issues in terms of committing suicide and all that stuff. I good, you know what I mean. But I just find other ways to deal with it, and that's my advice to all the men in here tonight. Right, find ways, healthy ways, to have that outlet when life gets a little hard, because it will, it does. Find ways to get that little outlet. It could be gym. I love the gym. I love working out. Um, Back on that grind again from Monday gone. Use those outlets because some people really and truly they don't they care until, let me put it that way, right?
But
They care until.
to your point, though, I mean, yes, I agree. Find healthy ways to deal with things, right? But in the context of a relationship, Derek, sometimes you will want to have that space with your partner as a man. Yeah, and I want it to be understood here, and I'm saying it right here, right now, right? Women, when a man comes to you and he shares, don't tell him my guilty feelings. Don't rebuff the man. Don't the same way you come home and you talk about the woman at work that pisses you off and how, you know, nasty cousin firstborn telling you some things that she can't believe. The same way you can rant and rave about your day and your feelings and your emotions, allow a man a space to do that. Because yes, the man could go to the gym. Yes, the man could go to the beach. Yes, the man could play basketball or video games or whatever he does. But if he chooses to share with you, just as you choose to share with your partner, allow the man that space. Because when you make it seem like go to the gym, don't talk to me. Go to the beach, don't talk to me. If you don't create that safety, that emotional safety within your relationship, then when the man don't lean on you emotionally at all, and you realize you ain't seeing the man no more, he always at the gym. And the more you get
Or
miserable, the more you complain, the more he at the basketball court, the more he playing video games,
or you
is
by
the more
somebody
you gonna get
else.
upset. You don't understand?
You know what I
I
mean?
am tired. I am simply tired. There, I know you want to get the comments, but I'm simply tired, right, of this notion. Because men want that emotional space too. They may not say it right, but a man won't be able to look at his woman and say, you know what, babe, I ain't so good. I ain't know how to express it, but just know that I ain't 100% here. Yeah? And women, I mean, men, we don't, we women, we don't want to walk there. man, I watching my soap operas, man, just deal with that. You know what you gotta do, deal with it. Because if we do that to you, granted, we process things differently. But you know what? At the end of the day, we are human beings. I saw somebody say that in chat. We too are human beings, and we too have emotions, and we too have certain sensibilities. Therefore, when you push us away, when we try to share, then when we find any alternative means to express ourselves, excluding you, then don't hold it against us.
Yep. Tanya says she ain't meeting these soft men. When she asks men for the feelings, the men is be good. Kwame says, with regard to Dion's comment about her being in a minority, he says no argument there. Communication is key, which is why I don't think they're talking about just communication. Ricardo, welcome, my brother. Good to see you. He says,
Yeah,
cry,
good night,
brother,
man.
cry. Metrosexual men are fully in tune with the emotions, are unafraid to show them. They take care of themselves, pedicures and manicures, massages, etc. Cry, Forest, cry. Claire is saying that we are holding some licks tonight. If she thinks that's the case, okay, but not necessarily.
Not me.
Not me. Nick is saying, I have no problem with a man who's willing to express his feelings, whatever those are. Good night to you, Nick. Welcome, as
Good night,
usual.
Nick. Good night. Mm-hmm.
Terence is saying, I actually need a man who can communicate. Please, God. We'll see what we can do for you, Terence here. Steve, but will you interact with or respect him the same going forward? And this is Terenika's comment about she has no problem with a man who's willing to express his feelings. And that is the question, Steve, because we every man in here knows it isn't the same. And we talked about Miriam Nakamoto earlier in the chat, right? Kwame, Ricardo left the pedis and manis. I'm due for my next pedicure just now, and I can put down an engine the week after that. I think you need to put those in reverse, Kwame. Put down the engine
Right.
and then get the money and pedi,
Oh, you're
right?
wasting money somewhere there.
Yeah. Ricardo tells TC to PM him. Dion is agreeing with Nika about no problem the men who are willing to express. TC saying wrong women here. You got the wrong women. Tanya, but Hogan is saying we want crying like it is excessive. That is what I got from how you guys worded it. Okay, no problem. Kwame says break down the code. Respectfully equals no anger, no getting the answers you need, no badgering, etc., etc. I.e., don't make her uncomfortable or force accountability. I agree there. Oh boy, Kwame, boy. I've heard one podcaster in another space say that accountability is a kryptonite to women. Gentlemen, if you agree, you know what to do with the ones. Omar, Neil is on a roll. Tanya, that is not me at all. You're experiencing it, but that isn't so for all women. Let me stop right here. I really want the women in the chat to appreciate that they are a particular set of women, right? And they're, and Tanya saying the generalization is off-putting for her. I get it. That is not your reality. Yeah, right?
But
That's not your reality. But I'm certain a lot of the men in here is a broadcast. It's a generalization for a reason,
yo,
right?
the thing about it is, right? The thing about it is, sorry to cross you right there, but the thing about it is, right? Generalizations that men put forth are off-putting. Not all women, we hear women say,
Yeah, near
right?
Waltz,
You
not all
know,
women are
but
like
you
that.
know what? How many times have we heard? I mean, this is a mantra and has been a mantra for so long. Men ain't shit. All men
Yeah,
are dogs.
yep,
We hear this almost daily, yo. You go on social media, men ain't shit, men ain't worthy. This, that, and the next.
yep, daily.
So tell me, right? Tell me. We obviously don't mean all women. Clearly, we have not dated and experienced all women. Therefore, I feel like it always boils down to semantics when we talk about these man woman things. It always boils down to subjective. Is it all? The point is, you know what we mean very well. So, women, some women, not all women, a subsection of women,
A
however
lot
you
of women.
want to word it,
A lot of women.
women, women put down men in relationships for expression of self and emotion. Every woman in here knows at least one woman that does that. How about that? How about that?
But let me
I'm
just
just
keep
tired of
rolling.
the semantics. It always comes down to semantics. Oh, not all women. But you know what? Not all men are
Not
dogs.
all men, not
I
all men.
literally had this argument with a woman, right? The woman said all men are dogs. All men are not loyal. I said that's not
We
true because at the
we
time
heard
I had a girlfriend.
we heard that on
We had that
Saturday.
last week, right? I was like, not all men, this and that, next, and we got to defend ourselves, right? And she said, that's my experience. As far as I go, I literally had a woman tell me that men are incapable of having one woman, and she sat there and had an argument to my face. As I had a girlfriend of 5 years with a child that I never cheated on, look at another woman, nothing so. The woman maintained, are you tall and right? You definitely, you ain't got two women yet. It comes down to semantics, and we need to stop it. Because at the end of the day, when I say I can only speak to my experiences. I cannot speak to every woman on the planet. I sure they got women in Timbuktu that don't do these things. They got women in the Amazon rainforest. Obviously, I don't mean all women, but that does not negate my experiences and my feelings and the experiences and the trials and tribulation challenges that my male friends have gone through. Men talk often, and the women I date ain't the same women that Derek date, ain't the same women that another brother in ours date, ain't the same one another man. All these men got the same problems.
Yep.
So what? So what? We don't mean all women. No, we don't mean all women. But you know what? It seems from our collective experiences that the majority of women in our lives just negate men,
I,
bash
I,
men,
I'll tell you
talk
right,
down to
Neil.
men.
What I found interesting is that you and I, we are kind of like the elder statesmen in our group. And then we got some guys that are mid 30s. We got guys early 30s. We recently had another guy, he's late 20s. And all of us have, as you said, shared experiences. And what I found very interesting, a very good friend of mine, she shared some stuff with me. I don't want to put her out there, and I definitely don't want to put her students out there, but she teaches in a secondary school, and she found that males at a secondary school, second and third form, were experiencing the same things that men at 30 or 40 are experiencing.
Time, right?
So really, I don't want the ladies to think that is a case of we just, as you said, talking up we
We
ass,
stupid men. Yeah, we stupid men.
or that the men angry, we hurt, we don't know how to cry, and all
We
these
need to
different things.
expand our pool.
Yeah.
Yo, we literally have done research and have research all the way down to 13 years old, 12 years
Yeah.
old in
And so,
secondary school. Boy, feel emasculated and being told they
and
can't
that
cry.
and that's a fact. That is a fact, right? But anyway, let me continue. Clara says men cry. I've seen men cry all through my life. It doesn't change my view of them. My husband cries at bad news or sad stories. He cried on our wedding day. Tears happen. He's not a softie. He's a sweetheart. All right, good. Tony says maybe you have a type, Neil. Maybe you do. Jennifer says she's agreeing with me on a point, whatever point that is. I didn't get it. Tanya, they make it sound as if women have an issue with it, so I label it as excess. All right, cool. Neil, when I say wrong, I am saying that she's not acting with respect if she wants to degrade you in her comments. Fact, Terencia.
Okay, yeah. Okay.
Jennifer
I agree.
Terencia, that is why I said to him, if women don't respect you, move on. And that is the point of the night right there. That is the point of the night right there, gentlemen. If women can't respect you, move on. Move on, right? I realized, right, very early in my dating life that, and I had a kind of an epiphany here the other day, that I've been like this for a long time. I remember, bring tales of the school now, but my very, very first relationship. I was in it, and I was the doting, attentive boyfriend and all that stuff. And I had a very good friend of mine at the time, our guy Erskine, right? Erskine said to me, you know, man, you're doing all this here, but when she's ready, she will move on. What will you do? What will you have? Right? Because at the time
How
I
old
was
Erskine was 18? So
you know,
those are
primary school.
poignant words.
We were in school.
Jesus, Christian.
I don't think we were in fifth form yet. Um, yeah, he said that to me because at the time I had stopped playing cricket and to hang out with the girl and stuff like that. You know, and, yeah, love, puppy love, and
You're young and foolish.
um, yeah, and I thought that, and he kind of set me back on purpose at that time. Because you're young, you think, hey, shoot, I feel like I met Comboy schools. I feel like I probably met Barbados on the 19, that kind of thing. Those are the things I was pursuing. And he said, you know, be with this girl and help you achieving things.
Thanks for joining us. TC says you got to run. Thanks for joining us, TC. Until next time.
Appreciate it. So said, so done. She kind of went on and did her own thing. And, you know, I had to pick up the pieces and move on from there. And I've kind of built up I kind of lived my life along those words. I got a good partner of mine to come out in that time. And he says it to me ever so often from all back then. Treat good, treat bad. People will do, let me not say people, women will do, you know, was in their best interest essentially. And you can't really blame them for that. So you as men, you need to hold frame and do what's the best for you. Because if they can't respect you, you as a man need to say, all right, thanks. And again, you do that no angst, no rancor, no bitter feelings. Don't get hyped. All right, it was nice, it was cool, it was thanks, you know? Yeah, Omar, the thing is that you hear the same stories from men all around. This is what Neil said, you go on the internet and men overseas say the same things. Men in your friend circles, co-workers all across the board. Some things happen across, even if some of you don't exhibit these things. Exactly. We ain't saying all women, but it seems like if men got shared stories. Blair, whoa, that sad at 77, it sounds so jaded, sad. All relationships require three things, 3 C's: communication, compromise, and commitment. That's Terencia. Happy home life. Happy home, happy life, says Blair. I love it. Nell, welcome. Happy to see you. And she says baggage. Baggage is a big issue in a lot of relationships. People take their expectations from relationship to relationship instead of working on a present relationship. It therefore becomes difficult to give the person a true chance on their individual merit. And yes, we talk about therapy all the time. Stop bleeding on the current people because of the injuries you suffered before. And we talk about that all the time. And Natalia is agreeing with TC and those 3 C's. Claire saying happy spouse, happy house. I'm assuming you mean happy spouse and not happy spouse. I prefer that to happy wife, happy life. Praise Jah. We leave it at no. Happy spouse, happy house. No, Neil, you're dealing with a human being. Kindness and decency is required. Amen. All sexes could be more considerate. I just don't say men are dogs. I don't believe that. Welcome, Philip. Good to see you. So Neil and Derek, when I went, Kevin Samuels, only 27-year-old lady. Which 27-year-old lady is this?
No, from last week.
27, I am so lost. Somebody,
you know, the woman. You remember we were laming, and the woman laughed at our shirt. Yeah.
Right. Got it.
Yeah, we did go a bit Kevin Samuels on her.
Just a little, just a tad.
A little bit.
Steve, again, but does happy husband matter / exist without happy wife having to be a factor? That is a question for the ages. Nika, yes, especially I would appreciate him even more for being vulnerable around me and to share with me. This is talking about a man who expresses his feelings. Blair Facts, we all need to find our way to stay sane. For me, it's the gym and Hill Springs. Yeah, man, you gotta take that time for yourself. Nika is agreeing with, Dion, I just wanted to Nika and saying, me too, because I feel we've encountered more of the other types, and in relationships, those don't do well. Jennifer is agreeing with Neil. Terence is also agreeing with Neil. I want to hear from him. We will never shut him out. It's either you or someone else who will listen to him. Correct. So ladies, allow men to share. And on that, Neil has said that he was in a relationship. He's been accused of cheating even when he didn't.
Derek, you breaking up? Is me breaking up? I don't know if the people can hear me. I don't know, but just repeat what you said, just in case.
Right. So Neil has been accused of having other women around and stuff like that. And even if he didn't, and he didn't do it, right? I know TC is saying it's either you or someone else who will listen to him. Ladies, please consider if you are looking at a man and you find him attractive for whatever reason, right? I want you to understand and appreciate that that man has options, right? Whether he chooses those options or not is another story. But invariably, a man can pick up his phone if it's time to get it scratched and decide, you know what, will I go left, right, or down the center? No. Let me be very careful what I say here, because I don't want what I say to be taken out of context and misconstrued. He may or may not choose to exercise those options, but he has them. And just because he has them does not mean he will exercise them. Let me just put that out there. So ladies, you have to be able to create that space. I get it that the ladies in the goodly Senate, they are the women who are open to have the discussion. But some of you, and some of you know women who are not open to having the discussion. You women know that there are a lot of women out there who are not willing to have any discussion with any man about any feelings. It's a case of manner. And a lot of women believe that men is dogs. They ain't shit. They ain't this. They ain't that. And they approach their relationships with that in mind. Let them know that if that is the case, you're going to attract a certain kind of man, one. And even if you do attract a good man, guess what?
The man is putting up with that.
The man is dealing with that. The man is dealing with that. So you got to approach.
Sorry, you made a comment about men having options, whether they choose to exercise it or not. No, I literally can hear some women saying, well, he got options too. Well, I must have got more options than he. Shoot, you mean that? Blah, 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 blah. If you want to do that, shoot, I got my, you know how many? I literally have heard, you know how many dick pics I got on my phone? I get dick pics every day.
And that's fine. And that's cool.
It's not a competition. And we are not saying that we trying to outbid one another to who could do one the dirtiest or whatever. The point remains is that if you have a good man, you have him for a reason. And if you think he's a good man, other women think he's a good man too. So hold on to that man. Or let that man go along. If your resume does not reflect what you want or what the man brings, and you know within yourself that you ain't got that energy or effort to put into that relationship to tell the man, let me create this space of vulnerability and let's emotionally share and let me do this and that and whatever, and it's more about your comfort and happiness more so than him, let that man go and find the compliment that is as good as him as a person.
All right. Charmaine is saying I agree with you if we don't provide that space for expression and sharing someone else will. Fact. Neka is saying, to be honest, is the most frustrating thing. Having a man who will talk. Sorry, that won't talk. Ricardo Atkins talks about the V2 movement. Dion says, I feel this podcast is for the converted and not reaching the target audience y'all need. And that might be
Dion, fact. That is fact. And we want you all to encourage those of your friends. Because this is the point. This is the point, right? The women that are in this chat, you all truly exemplify what we want in women. Just to be heard, just to have this discourse, just to agree to disagree or to have debates or to understand where we're coming from and understand certain things. That's what this space was created for women and men to understand and to agree with what. They got some women that will never come in here. Never. Because this will lead to them being held accountable, whether for themselves or previous relationships. They want another action. They may want to look in the mirror. You all are the converted or have always been this way. And we are not saying that when we say all women or women, we are not speaking about you all. Because you're open. Therefore, it is incumbent, because I know when I know friends that toxic, go back and tell them, check out this podcast. And if you can tell one of your friends, each woman can tell at least two of their friends that, we can have a more lively debate. If they come and they curse me, it can be and they come and close minded and they won't curse me and say one of men and shit, and this is it. That's why you got a chat on the screen. We can have that discussion. With good or bad, we exposing.
Yeah, man. Blair, agree Neil, my sweet girl from the gym, give him that listening ear. You know we're gonna happen after that. Weights ain't the only thing that get him live fast. TC, Jennifer say TC, we need to have a small line with Neil. Kwame is laughing. Blair's put it ones in the chat.
Jennifer, we need a line, but I don't know. We will talk, but we do need a line for sure.
And Nikki Nix, welcome to you. Good to see you. To respond to Nika, I agree with you. Steve, there are different levels of emotional vulnerability. A man can be vulnerable and manly at the same time. But most of the men in here are saying they found that does not work well for them. Natalia, she's also saying when my partner needs to vent, he has my ear, had a problem at work, I need a sounding board. I listen even if it gets overwhelming, and I wonder how he manages. He needs his space. I back off. Because at the end of the day, those things are things I need myself. But what do I always say? One hand can't clap. And tonight I say reciprocity is a necessary rule. Correct. He was talking about it earlier. You attract what you are putting out. You know, what you put out will come back to you. Terenci, I have never said men ain't shit. Never. Nickel, more than the red women memes. Yeah, those circulate. I find those funny. I send it to my ex-wife. Nikki Nix does not take away from his value. Tanya is saying the same thing as DC. She's never said it either. Jennifer, blame your brothers for bad press. I don't say all men. But here's the thing, Jennifer. It can't be the men that get blamed for the bad press, because men don't post memes. Anything happen in a relationship, men don't post no memes. It don't be me that's put up these nice quotes, because anytime they go falling out, it's go straight to WhatsApp status or IG story and you see the pictures coming out, or find this body that can treat you like a queen, or if he can't accept you at your worst, he don't deserve you at your best. We see the stuff, and I wonder what's the point of it, because, well, I don't know if some men do. But for me, I don't respond to that.
I'll be honest and say that I've been guilty of that. But that is in response to somebody going in the statuses and hitting at me. And I lowered myself to that. Yeah. And I promised myself I'll never do that again.
Yeah. Not me. I ain't responding to that shit. So it's not the bad press doesn't come from us. The bad press does not come from us. Men tend to be more stoic, whole frame, and we don't just generally don't put stuff in the business in the road. That's just how we handle it. So the bad press doesn't come from us. Bad press comes from, because when the mainstream media comes and you got shows like Wendy Williams, Steve Harvey Shaw, Oprah to a lesser extent, the real. Then we got Derek Jackson. Them is the men that's kind of like, you know, get about the brothers in bad press. But I ain't gonna stick up there too much with that. Let me truck on with these comments. Don't even get me started on how disrespectful those jokes are. Not tonight. Yes, I send those jokes to Natalia as well, but she cussed me a few times, so I don't send she no more. Ricardo says, preach it, Pastor Hoyt, sermon on fire. Jennifer, just to make light, stop giving them power. Blair, facts need to be as men are capable of having one woman, just that some men don't want to. Monogamy isn't a natural thing. It is something we elect to do. I suspect that can cause licks going here, but you can keep going, Neil. Tanya, but Neil, I don't get it here and say men are dogs. I've had horrible experiences, but I do not believe that all men are dogs, and I will never say that. We appreciate that, or negate a man's feelings, or
that too, because we have addressed that too, Tanya, because when we say women, clearly we don't mean all women. And clearly we are not talking about the women that are in here.
Yeah. Terencia, I would like a man that I can trust with my issues, because I'm willing to support him with his. He needs to be consistent within his behavior, not keen on the Jekyll and Hyde behaviors, because I am going to be consistent in mine, and I will support you in your weakness and push you when it is needed, but never to insult or hurt you, because I do not want you to do it to me. Amen. Amen. Yeah. Ricardo is saying Erskine was wise always as a fact. Steve is saying if you break up with a woman because you're respected, would you be labeled as you can't handle her? So when it's done, inversely, if she does this the same, then what is the narrative? And that is a fact. Generally speaking, if a man doesn't want to put up with the bullshit, you hear that the man, he ain't man enough to handle the woman.
Oh my God. Oh.
So he just bailed on the relationship or whatever.
He wasn't man enough to handle me. No, sweet girl.
Yeah, and a matter of fact, pretty much. And I had a meme that I used to share with my guys every now and again, and it says that men are not intimidated by these what the new archetype of the strong, independent woman. Men are not intimidated by that. I also want us to get away from thinking that men want women to be barefoot and pregnant, housewives in the kitchen, that kind of thing. Because the reality is, I don't think many men in here grew up with that, seeing their mother as that person, right?
Not me.
Yeah. My mother wasn't a housewife. I don't think your mother was either, Neil. You know what I mean? So we didn't grow up seeing that. So it's not something that we're going to look for, right? So yeah, Steve, and the rest of you guys, it's not a case of a man being intimidated, fearing, any of those things. This
not me.
This strong, independent trope that the women like to push. It's just a case that a man ain't got time to deal with a man don't want to be fighting. Men
All
want
the
peace.
time.
A man don't want to come home and fight with you.
You know
So
my
if you figure
favorite.
that-
You know my verse. You know Bible verse I will call here now. Proverbs 21:9.
Proverbs. Yeah, it is better for a man to live on the corner of the rooftop than to live in a house with a contentious woman, a luxury mansion with a contentious woman, and that is the scripture, right? So yeah, hold to that, guys. Remember, we are not intimidated, we are not afraid of, fearful of.
Just say dealing with it.
We just dealing with it. You know? Carry it on. Cherish. Good to see you, Cherish. Hurt people, and that's a fact. If everybody does not take the time to do the inner work, heal from any type of trauma, then a relationship where you cannot comfortably express your feelings is not for you. You might as well be yourself. If people are honest with themselves, you will find the energy, you'll find the person that blends with your energy. Okay, Tonya is saying, well, thank you, Cherish, for that. We appreciate that. Good to see you. Hope you come back and bring some friends. Tonya, okay, there, I agree with what you're saying now about some women who don't want to hear. I appreciate that. We appreciate you as always, Nika. Sometimes the same if you break up with women because, right, this is Steve's comment. Some men then tell tales out of school to deal with ego. Natalia, I tell you last week, it is you or your daddy. Lord have mercy. Probably is dying. Tonya, I agree, Neil, about women who won't come. And that is some serious phrasing there out of Archer, but I'll leave it there.
Phrasing.
Yeah, there are some women who won't come here because it's going to be.
Can't take the mirror. Can't take the mirror. Can't take because it means that they will have to be accountable, and some women just
you gotta look at yourself a little bit. Nick, many of the toxic ones have significant others, and the converted ones single. But you know, Nick, I really want to question that. I really want to question that.
How happy are them? Even if they're in a relationship, how happy are they? How happy is their relationship? How genuine is their relationship?
What kind of relationship is it? Because I tell you all ladies all the time, and I maintain it. It is one thing. Because men don't care. If you rate a woman on a scale of 1 to 10, a man, generally speaking, will hit whatever he has access to. So if a woman that is a 1 come along and he can hit that, he will hit it. If a woman come along as a 10, he will hit that too. Especially if you feel he can get away with it. We don't care. But what kind of woman is he going to keep? That is the question. What kind of woman is he going to keep? Then there is a completely different thing, ladies. A completely different thing between somebody coming and beating your brakes off you and blicking out your back on the night, and somebody deciding, let me build a relationship. Those are two very, very different things. Right? And yeah, you might got options. You may have options. Shoot, the toxic ones might have significant others. But how significant are they?
Are those others?
What is the state, the union in that relationship? Because it may only look good on the outside, but the man ain't really dealing with shit that kind of way. Because here, men are not intimidated by them kind of toxic women. And it's funny because you all will think, right? Y'all may think that it look good. They look real good on social media. Some of them, you see them, they post and they go down the road, they don't need a man. They don't need a man for anything. They got it locked. That's fine. That's cool. And then on the very same social media, those same women will post and say, well, look, maybe single life is hard, or you're looking for a man, or something along them lines. Now, let me touch base to something we talked about last week, because we talked about being single. We are not making the assumption that because you're single that you're lonely that you're bitter and unhappy. We're not making that assumption. We're not suggesting that at all. Some people are single and quite happy. But let me keep it real. Let me keep it a buck. It's get lonely sometimes.
With the 237 ladies.
Yeah, they get the 237 ladies, man. It's getting lonely. You know what I mean? So I don't let me fool ourselves. Don't let me fool ourselves. Let me just be honest and say, look, yeah, sometimes I will like little companionship. Sometimes I will like little companionship. I can press on because, yeah, the social media saga says Ricardo Atkins, I absolutely hate it. Airing linen in public, tasteless. Blair is saying, and them eating that shit up there, a lot of women can't wait to buy into something that pulls down all men, and it's sad. Clear. So next week, everybody got to bring somebody to the podcast. Bring 3 and get a Senate podcast, baby T. I like it. We can show we can go work how to get that done. Yeah. Jennifer is asking who hurt Blair, and there we have that shaming stuff. Yeah, but yeah, we get it. All right, Kwame, not intimidated because we now have tools now to observe and not to absorb these tactics. Correct. I would talk to her for him, said Jennifer. Blair, I hate to hear when a woman says, you can't handle me. Are you a wild animal or radioactive? No, cut it out. Bless. Natalia, wait, I'm not a man. I'm not coming home to fight. Me, I don't have that kind of energy. Nobody does. Ricardo Atkins, a contentious woman, boy. It is better to put a stone around your neck and throw yourself in the sea. The Bible is very funny, but it rarely lies. Carrie Ann, welcome. Good to see you again, Carrie Ann. I juggling and I heard something in pieces earlier. Was it said a woman is supposed to always anticipate and think about her partner going to another woman if she does not reciprocate emotional space at a point in time? Did I hear that correctly? I don't think that was said.
No, I want to address this, Derek.
I think you got bits and pieces of the
right, because discussion. we are saying Derek was speaking in the context of if every time a man tries to share and to come to a woman or whatever, he is told either to man up, I don't want to hear that. He's always rebuffed, rejected, or whatever. Every time he comes to his partner for that emotional safety and security, every time he is pushed away and told, I'm trying to hear that, man up. You know what to do. Get over it. You know what I mean? Who hurt you, right? We're saying that the man will find his outlet somewhere, whether it be at the gym, at the beach, in video games, or in another person. the point remains is that a man, just like a woman, needs to have that space to share with their partner. We're not talking about in general, and we're not talking about a woman having to anticipate that. If a woman provides that for her man, if both of y'all are like dealing with that and both of y'all sharing spaces of emotional vulnerability and y'all are sharing and, babe, I have a hard day today at work, and what about you? And we having that space consistently, there ain't a problem. The man ain't got no reason to go anywhere to talk to nobody. The man, as a matter of fact, will be more willing to come and talk to you than go to the gym. But you're talking about the women that are always saying, I want to hear about that. You always got some problem. You always got some issue.
Or on the other hand, they let you talk, get your point across, and without addressing it or whatever, they move on to their own problems. That happens as well, right? Sharma, she's saying, I am single and I enjoy it, but at times it gets lonely. Yes, but it is what it is. I deal with it. But I'll put it to you, Sharma, if it is a case that if you had the option, and let me ask you that, if you had the option of having a partner with you, somebody, and Natalia is saying 2:37 a.m. This hit hard. If you had somebody to keep you warm at 2:37 a.m., somebody that you could be cool with and good and everything cool, would you not exercise that option? That's all I want to know. You can respond in the chat if you see fit, right? And they throw that out to all the ladies in the chat, all the single ladies in the house, right?
Yep.
Carrie Ann is saying, good to see you. Love the red scarf. I saw earlier, Derek. Thank you. And she says, thanks for the clarification, Neil. Yes, I try to keep the swag on a certain level, but we started to get hype, right? So I had to take off the scarf so that I could keep it rolling and keep it jiggy and keep cool, right? Steve, what about situations where women share with other women, her crew, etc., that her decisive action is what the jury decides? So she's almost always under outside influences. If you're gonna have that kind of energy in your relationship, where you're dating about 4 people, and this is the thing, right? Let me get through these. Let me get through these comments and come back to you, Steve. Jamie says, but yet men stay with women who treat them badly. Why, Neil and Derek?
I want this one. Oh, me teacher. Because they're loyal. Buddy. They're loyal.
Boom, bang. Neil and I didn't have a discussion, but that is exactly what I was going to say, right? That is exactly what I was going to say. I remember the first horn that I got, I was living through that horn, right? And a friend of mine actually came and told me, Derek, this is the situation. I mean, I could see it. I sensed it. And for some reason, I didn't want to believe it. For me, that was my girl. And a friend of mine came and told me, who happened to be her friend. And you know it bad when her friends comes and tell me, but yeah, this is the situation. It rough in Gideon. So protect yourself, get out of this. But I felt some kind of loyalty for whatever. Anyhow, but I can press on.
Fine, Derek.
Charmaine is saying, yes, she would exercise that option. Jennifer is agreeing as well. Depends, you mean someone who just there casually or a long-term relationship? Well, it's what you want, Nick. It's up to what you're looking for. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, you can find somebody that's going to provide that. Cool. If you want a short-term thing, okay. John, good to see you, John. As always, of course, as long as it doesn't come with stress, yes, you would exercise that option. It'd be interesting to discover what stress really is. Neka is saying, Neil, oh, please.
No. Hold on, Neka, hold on a minute. So men are not loyal. So why is a man sticking around with a miserable woman? Is it because what? The sex good? Is it because you can tell me they have children? They get divorce is cheaper? Why? In some of these cases, men are committed to those vows, to those commitments, and they are loyal to that. And the man he might not put up with the miserable woman to say that he will leave, but the man will go either go on the outside and get a stress reliever from somewhere else, in someone else, but he is not leaving. Why? Because he is committed, because he is loyal. It may not be to the relationship anymore, it may be to the woman.
Tanya said divorce is too expensive. I tell my friends this all the time. Divorce is too expensive. Nika is saying that most often many turn around hurt women who genuinely care about you. Yeah, that
Hurt people,
happens.
hurt people. Hurt people, hurt people. I
Yeah,
agree with that.
Jennifer is saying a relationship is not a community project. Facts. Tanya, I don't think anyone wants to be alone forever. We are social beings, so no, nobody wants to be alone forever. Um, Omar, the worst thing about this is that a good portion of the time the story gets to the jury isn't the full story about the slanted version that puts her in the best light. So thank you for bringing me back to Steve's comment, Omar. Ladies, as Jennifer said, a relationship is not a community project. It is not. Do not get Beyonce'd by your girlfriends. When I say Beyonce'd, this is what I mean, right? Beyonce has told females down through the ages, all my single ladies, put your hands up. And she put it up, she had with a big wedding band on it and going home to a man that worth $1 billion.
She's take it off. If you like it, then you should have put a ring on it. And
Okay.
then when
Sorry,
the
my
song
bad.
done, she's put on the $1 billion.
And she going to a man that worth $1 million.
Billion,
Sorry, $1
billion,
billion.
billion. Yeah. Don't shortchange my man.
Right? Sorry, my bad. Come, ladies. Don't. My principal used to say, right? Don't let somebody that ain't got hammer and nails break down your shop. Right? Don't listen to your single girlfriends who come together to tell you that the man you got any good. A lot of times, they same girlfriends want your man. And because you can't get to you or whatever, they decide, you know what, let me just sabotage this.
You say single. There are women that are in relationships that give bad advice to their single female friends or the friends that are in relationships or whatever, and still don't follow their own advice. Girl, if I do you a lefty, what? He talked to you like that? Nah, but he can't be serious. He can't really want you. This and that next. A week later, them coming, girl, you can believe this man tell me that he tell me don't come back. He did it.
Yep. So be very careful. Be very careful that people in your boat are rowing and not drilling
And not
holes.
punching holes. Or they're not drilling holes,
Yeah.
correct.
Be very, very, and men, this applies to you too, because you got a lot of men that you got close to you that you figure is your boy, and they
And the
trying
man
to talk your
just
girl.
getting information.
So,
The man getting information.
you know what I mean? So really scrutinize the people you got in your circle, right? But ladies, don't get Beyonce'd. All right? Do not get Beyonce'd. As my man say, you might find a good man. Don't try to make you jump through all these hoops and try to prove yourself to you. Because a good man ain't doing it.
The man gotta fight the
He ain't doing it.
dragon, and he gotta fight the army, and
Yeah,
he gotta fight the king, and he
yeah.
gotta fight the father, and he gotta fight your brother, and he gotta yo, let me
Because
get
here's
to
the
you in
thing.
the use.
He ain't doing it. He ain't doing it. Especially if he got options. He got other options. Right? So don't, ladies and gents, get Beyonce'd. Right? Um, right. So I'm here, Jamie. Now, I think men like to be treated badly. Oh, dear me. That is certainly not the case. um, Sharma is saying divorce brings peace of mind. Natalia says expenses will help, but peace of mind. I find every cent for mine because take a fart in me, I was done. Natalia is serious. Tanya, I meant as why they stay. No other woman can tell me that about a man I have. Terence is back. Welcome again. Ricardo asking us, watch any Nigerian movie, they want your man. Straight. Nick, what about the men that encourage men to do all the wrong things for all the wrong reasons? You're gonna let she tell you what time to come home, etc. Yeah.
But you see, I'm glad she brings that up, right? Because we're talking about women, we are not saying that men are not guilty of certain things too. Yeah. There are some men, as Derek said, won't chop your girl. There are some men that want you to do the typical toxic male things like, oh, you should fool somebody, she can deal with that, or you should go and drink. She could tell you when to come home. The point is that your friends, male or female, my master don't get beyond said. Don't let your friends, whether they be men or women, tell you what you should and shouldn't do in your relationship. There's nothing wrong listening, but don't take that advice home and do jump with it.
Yeah. Jennifer is saying some women are so vicious, some men too.
Yep,
Claire is
facts.
responding to Terencia and saying it's better everybody is calm now. I've always been calm.
Yeah,
uh,
I
yeah, Tanya is saying it's true to in response to Nika's comments about the men who encourage men to do jump. And Claire is saying to Terencia, if you bring 3 friends next week, you're getting the Senate podcast shirt. Lord have mercy. Are you providing these shirts, Claire? Just let us know. Nell, the grass always appears greener on the other side if you're not watering the grass on your side. I like to say Nell that a friend of mine, his almost father-in-law, told him the grass is always greenest near the septic tank.
hey.
I'll leave that there for y'all guys. Kwame, men like to be treated bad? Well. Yeah, I was wondering about that too, Kwame, but we just leave it there.
Yeah, Joe.
Spray paint and astroturf fool a lot of people. So true. With regard to the grass is always greener. Terencia is asking, and Jennifer, you are the person who has to live in the relationship. Yes, you are the person who has to live in the relationship, not anybody else. I saw there's a quote I love that says, "Stop taking constructive criticism from people who have never constructed anything." I love that because there's some people who would love to tell you, yeah, well, for instance, when he does X and Y to you, and you still give sex, man, we got that sex cut off. You can't touch me for a week. All right, that's fine. He might not
She
touch
ain't
you for
doing
a
that with
week.
Shimando. She ain't doing that with Shimando.
She ain't doing that with she, man. She handing up like that. Meanwhile, you home holding out. Your husband looking at you and saying, okay, this whole thing's going down. All right. Remember, generally speaking, a man of a certain caliber can pick up his phone. He can go left. He can go right. He can go down the middle. You make the decision if your man is going to come down the middle to you or if he can go off on a tangent.
Even if he doesn't have options or willing to exercise it, my worth his salt and of a certain caliber ain't dealing with these games, ain't dealing with this insufferable behavior, right? Like there is
Yeah.
saying what he is saying, but basically what it boils down to, yo, you gonna be full sets of me, or you can listen to your friends and push a certain narrative, or you're not gonna create a certain space. Then I done, I gone. Whether he has options or not. A man worth his salt, a man that is really about him and his business, is putting up, especially a good man. A man that knows he provides stability, support, security, and all of the other leads for you. And you come in with this BS, a man is in a problem. No problem. As Derek said, left or right. Whether it's another woman or just out the relationship.
I'm real confused here. So, Nika is saying it appears that way sometimes. To be honest, those ill-treated men stay and hold on for dear life. Terence is saying, Nika, sometimes I do wonder. I've seen some, and they tell you she's a good woman. Tanya, girl, some of them loyalty is a fact, but that's what Neil said earlier.
I sure I said that earlier. I am
Neil
real
said that
sure that I said that
earlier,
earlier.
and
And
he
Nika
made
said,
me
"Oh please."
laugh. They made me
I don't.
laugh. I said,
I
Neil, they
don't know.
talking in junk.
I don't know.
But I'll say this, right? Um, I don't believe in making yourself somebody else's fool. I believe if we made that commitment that yeah, we can stick it out, we can ready it out, we done for one another like 4 flat tires, that's one thing. But to accept bad treatment, I can't say that I know a couple
Only
men who are actually we need like we have a very good friend of ours who is in a situation where the man is like, we don't know what you're in this, and the man's like, well, yeah, it loves you. You know what I mean? And he is writing that out. And that his efforts are unappreciated, you know what I mean? So I do take the point. I do take the point. But by the same token, he is a man, even within that bad treatment, he has chosen to exercise some options. You know what I mean? And
because he's getting because understand, he is getting nothing at home. I ain't talking about just sexually. Nothing at home.
nothing. And this is, and when we say nothing, we mean like even in terms of communication. So
Nothing.
um somebody asked, Terencia, are women still withholding sex? It's like, and Dion, she says it's fascinating that we still think we are the only people who can provide good sex. Also, I feel like withholding sex hurts me too, so I don't know why I would do that to myself. We wonder why you do it to yourself as well.
They got some women out there, let me
Tracy,
tell you, that weaponize sex.
yeah, that's a fact. Terence is saying there, I know a few. I watch and shake my head, but that is his call. And when I got me beat with that one, I don't. I understand honoring vows, honoring your commitment and stuff like that. I do not understand accepting bad treatment. That's something totally different. Tonya is saying that there, I know some good men who stay because they've been raised a certain way and they're treated really badly. And Natalia is agreeing, and it really makes her wonder. I am really confused. I am
But
truly
like you see,
confused.
again, it comes down to this, right? A good man will stay with her because you gotta understand, right? When this man first met this woman and first married this woman, everything was hunky dory. When he made the commitment to move in with this woman, or this woman move in, or they move in together, have children, whatever, the man has committed. I am a man personally. If you have my child, I am committed to you for life, whether we stay together or not. I am committed to your well-being because that is tied to my child's well-being. Yeah. So you have a certain level of commitment to them, regardless of how they treat you. So there's some men there that once you move in, once you married, once you have children, once you get debt together in names or whatever, you are committed. You are loyal to that commitment. No, the woman may change. The woman may decide, listen to her friends, may decide she watched one too many romantic comedies, whatever. The dynamic shifts and the dynamic changes for whatever reason. And now it is a case where the woman is treating this man badly. I don't know of any situation where a woman marrying a man and treating the man stink. I don't know them. Every situation that I know about where there's this or her oh right?
It doesn't mean bad.
These are no problem. These certain discrepancies or whatever in relationships, they come after the fact of certain major commitment. And the man is still holding out hope that, yo, maybe the woman that I love still in there. Maybe we could change. Maybe I can get through to her. You know, some men legitimately talk to the women like, yo, we ain't vibing. We need to work. Let me do counseling. Let me do this. Let me do that. And the women are saying, nah, I got a thing for that. Counseling? Nah. I want money for that. Nah, I can pay. Nah. I don't think for that. So you have to understand that men will stay because not a lack of options, not because of any other thing. The man is sticking out hope that if the woman decide to drop all of that drama and stop being like that, my man will drop everything to stay in that relationship. Even the bad treatment the man will take because he remembers, he's look at the wedding pictures and see the woman he married. The man go on the wedding band and see it like, yo, the woman I married got be in there Sunday. I don't know this woman. And it happens. It happens where you commit to a woman one day, and then years down the line, you cannot recognize this woman because of how she treats you. I promise you that that is the case. So we stay,
Yep.
we commit. You know, if the woman wants saying, literally, if the mother of my son calls me no and tells me, yo, I got a little situation, I need some help, or whatever, I am going. Because why? I have committed to her. Any woman that comes into my, I ain't telling you that I'm not telling you that You know, she call me and tell me, yeah, I want some sex. Come, I come in. No, I ain't telling you that she can say, oh, I want to go on a date. I go, no. However, if she needs somebody to talk to, I am there. If she needs somebody to a shoulder to cry on, I am there. Whatever she needs, she will get. And any woman coming into my space has to understand that. That is just the commitment. So I I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. That's what I mean by loyal. Men are loyal. Y'all may not believe it. Y'all may see the infidelity as being unfaithful and this and that. Fine. But you can never, ever say a man is going to, a man will cheat on you, right? And you will find out. I literally know situations where women find out men have cheated on them and the other family come about. Or shoot, when the man dead and you see you
At the
got the man got two
funeral.
obituaries. Man got two obituaries, right?
Funeral.
No. When you
Shoot.
look
We
at
are
when you
our first guest, Neil. Our first guest on Tuesday is my literal brother.
exactly.
And Tuesday was the second time I've seen this man face to face. And
Right.
I found out this dude
So
like 6 years ago. And we are both over
okay.
30.
Okay. So now what is loyalty? What is loyalty to you? Jennifer said it that we are men and women are different. We process certain things differently. And they agree to an extent we process differently because we are both in the same, right? But loyalty for a man clearly is different from loyalty for a woman. Now, I am not condoning cheating. I believe that you should talk and have that space with your partner to talk out things. Go to therapy, do what you need to do. If she is not receptive to that sort of behavior, then you got to make a judgment call. Right? I will not wholly and solely be, I'm not saying the men that just taken a 6 for 9 and decided to do jump. I'm talking about those situations where the man just come home every night and you crawling and complaining. The man just tried to go and touch you. I had two children. I had to get them
Nothing's.
ready for school, and I got this right. And that is for the last 6 months. The person refused to let you touch them, kiss them, nothing because life just hard for them. They been want to talk to you. They ain't got no time for this. They ain't got no time for that. They always complaining, crawling. So if the man goes on and find comfort in another woman and that leaves another child, but yet still the man does his best to provide for you and the household that he's created. Has gone. He goes to church with you. He does all of these things with you as a family to the commitment that he is honoring. That's a form of loyalty. No, no, we can argue shoot, where the money, who fault is it really or whatever. Women, just understand, right? Men are simple creatures. They're already at the top of the program, right? 5 things for men, 14 things for women in terms of what they desire most in
Yep.
their partner. Be
Yep.
simple, yo. We just want a safe and secure space, emotionally, physically, all the leaves. We just want to come home there. Not saying it can always be a bed of roses. That's not what we're saying. We can always be skipping through tulips. However, we should have that space to either talk about it or acknowledge the space but with the aid to come. That's all. We don't want to be shouted at. We don't want to be treated like children. We don't want to be emasculated.
No,
But
no,
yeah,
we get into some dicey stuff here now. Because Terence is saying, I was once asked by a man, do you understand that someone can be committed to someone but not faithful? And Claire is saying regular. I
no.
actually witnessed it.
Mm.
He's committed to her but not faithful. And Nika is saying she's confused. And Tanya doesn't get it because she's saying we are not men. And
Hold
Terence is
on.
saying, my
Hold on.
question
So
in that
go.
case is why stay? No,
Okay.
it might be a case of a man might be committed but not faithful. He might love, let me say, his staunch girlfriend, wife, or whatever, and that is his household. That is what he's providing for. That is what he's taking care of. It might be a case where this is just some sex on the side. I I understand, right, that this is very, very contentious very, very difficult to understand, right? As because we've been kind of conditioned into the romantic comedy Disneyfication of it, where it is man and woman one happily ever after, right? But the reality is, men do not process sex like that, right? They don't. They don't. Um, I was watching a comedy one time, Seth Rogen, Zach and Mary make a porno. And one of the lines was, he said, if you give me 2 lolly sticks and a rubber band, I'll find a way to hit it like a filthy MacGyver. Right? Um, yeah. And Eddie Murphy said it. If the wind blows, we ready. You know? So for us, in all that connection and stuff we don't need that. We don't. If you get an urge, we let scratch your itch. And we can do that. And it is why when a man steps out, a woman, the first thing a woman asks, well, who is she? You love the woman? Or, you know, you want to be with she, you got that kind of connection. And invariably is like, nah. He went out, did that, and give it a second thought.
But
Because
go ahead, sorry.
Home is his thing. You are the male woman. Let me put it this way. So me and let me choose one here now. Carrie, I won't choose Carrie. Let me choose Nika, because Nika's, my girl. So Nika's my girl. Me and Nika, we come up together. We building sand. We living together. Everything cool. Natalia, hey, Natalia cool. Like Natalia, she play safe. We decide we can do a thing. Natalia know that I got Nika. All right. She want to get an itch scratch. I want to scratch an itch too. We scratch an itch. Keep it trucking. Right? That's just where it is.
Well, hold on a minute, Derek. Because it is important to give context to these situations, right? Because in my experience, for me, a man does not just, like, you got to understand, we're not talking that everything good home. Mans get sex every night for his woman. She don't complain. They are in a partnership. They can talk things. They designate roles. Everything is in a synchronous synergy. Yeah, we're not talking about those situations, because a man that has it all good at home and still goes out and cheat, that is a man that just, we are talking about these situations where everything is not all right at home, where someone or something is not gelling, they're not vibing, they're not in a synchronous orbit, they're not gelling. Whether it's sexually, emotionally, the man doesn't feel safe, the woman doesn't feel safe, something is friction. And the man has made attempts to make you understand, or maybe the man just can't deal with you being contentious or whatever. The point remains is that we are not talking about those situations where everything is rosy. Now, back to the point of why stay. Why stay is because, for me personally, when I say I love you and I want to be with you and I want to try with you, I mean that. Yeah? If something along the way happens and we're not gelling and we ain't moving or whatever, if I step out and do something, if I seek comfort and security and safety that you are not providing or that has been misaligned somewhere, that does not necessarily mean that I am not committed to you or that you are treating me poorly. It literally can mean that this is a space, a moment in time where you and I are not gelling, we are not vibing, we are not in a synchronous orbit. And we are trying to get back into synchronous orbit, but it always comes to contention. It always comes to contention. Every time we talk is an air of judgment, is an air of unsafety. So then, if the man steps out and the man still committed to you and your house and your household, your children, your well-being and everything like that, do you know how many men I know? Sorry, not men I know. You know how many situations I know, sorry, where the man ain't leaving his wife come hell or high water. And when you ask the man why, the man say, that's my wife. That's my wife. Ain't got nothing to do with house. Ain't got nothing to do with bills. Ain't got nothing to do with, that's my wife. The wedding pictures up. But this, for some reason, we are not, and people lose sight of it, you know. So
I'll put it to you this way, guys, because I see a lot of the because Terency is asking if it's just to hit something different. Sometimes, yeah. I know Neil is Neil is the more emotional of the two of us, but yeah,
I
sometimes that's
differ,
what
man.
it is.
I differ. For me,
Yeah, sometimes a
I
man's,
can't.
you know, and remember, I tell you all guys every time, if a man can get away with it, if he can hit a wall and get away with it, he would do it. You know what I mean? As Jennifer here saying, scratch, I keep it moving with your mouth clean. Yep, with your mouth clean. Terencia, if this is constant behavior, then what? Carrie Ann is saying, so basically then commitment does not equal faithful,
No,
but
hold
there
on a
can
minute.
still be loyalty.
Okay, hold on a minute. Hold on there.
Is,
Hold on. What is loyalty? And what is faithful?
right. What does it
Because
look
it
like?
comes down to semantics here. What is being faithful versus what is loyalty?
But I think it's a matter of what does it look like to man and woman, right? And you said it earlier, men can be out cheating and still be loyal to the household. Um, a man is going to consider this is where I live, this is my household. I can buy my groceries for here. If I gotta help out around this house or whatever, this is what I'm gonna do. And that is his commitment. He's committing his resources, his time, his energy to that household.
Regardless
Outside,
of how he is being spoken to, and treated.
and that is what the commitment and the loyalty looks like. That's what the faithfulness is going to look like, right? I know that this is very hard for ladies to process, to get.
Because
I
women,
understand.
hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. The problem here, right, is that there are some women that believe that whatever happens in a relationship, it happens in the relationship. But there are some women that don't necessarily commit to fixing what's happening in a relationship. Let's be honest here, right? I am speaking from my experience. No, if I am committed to somebody and I say, yo, you made me feel this kind of way, when you said this, I feel a type of way, and we not get into any sort of understanding to it, and I am constantly made to feel a certain type of way. We have to understand that relationships sometimes don't coalesce. They don't line up. They get misaligned. And sometimes the parties, for whatever reason, are not willing to align it. It doesn't take away from being faithful or committed. I know people can see this as an excuse for men bad behavior and all that there, but the fact remains is that we say this every time we have a podcast, yo. Relationships are a grind, and there should be a constant commitment to making things work. And sometimes in those moments, it will not work and things happen. Does that mean what? What does that mean? And the thing about it is, women do cheat too. Women do find themselves in situations where certain things happen. I guess the difference is that women will be quick to say, well, I cheating on this man. I guess I walk away and go with the other man. I don't know. The point is, speaking as a man, for me personally, very few times, any time that I have cheated before, it has been when this relationship done. This ain't a last. This this ain't a workout. And I already got one foot out the door. And eventually I leave. I haven't cheated a lot, but I can only think of one time where me and the person were not aligned, and we've been trying for months to get aligned, and somebody else came along. Didn't take away from my commitment with that person or with what was going on. So
All right, wait. Let me back it up a little bit. Oh boy, my chat is stuck a little bit.
where you are?
Refresh and come back. I coming back now. Oh boy, where am I? Where have we gone? Okay, am I back? Yes, I am back. Right, so it's Carrie Ann says she's feeling a bit jaded now. Nikki Nix is saying the level of honesty determines the perception of loyalty. And Terencia made the comment I really wanted to touch on. For a woman, faithful is monogamous. Yes. Um, it looks different
What was loyalty?
uh, to men, right? Tanya is saying so. Derek this should be settled in a committed relationship because he's loyal. Here's the thing, ladies. Here's the thing. A gallon bottle holds a gallon, and you got to determine what you are prepared to handle if the juice is worth the squeeze, as I like to say. Because, shoot, you might be dealing with a man on a particular level, and he might be providing everything you need, and it might be a case where it's just like he step out and come back. That might be it. But aside from that, you have no other complaints. Are you going to walk away from the relationship? And that's an honest question, right? I'm not putting it out there for you to decide, for you to choose one way or the other, but it's a question you need to answer for yourself. It's going to look like something different for everybody else. Yes, because you and Nina are talking two different things. Yes, we are, because Nina is talking from the position of if everything is not particularly 100% in the relationship. I'm talking about, shoot, it might be 100% in the relationship, but the man might say, you know what, I want a little piece of something else, you know, and that's the reality of it. That's the
Well,
reality of it.
I guess this is where we disagree here, but that's fine.
Right? Do you understand? We're hearing all the male definitions. If your female friend was in this scenario, what is your advice? My advice, you got to know what you can bear. If cheating is a deal breaker for you, well, then you walk away. Right? If it's not, you might decide, hey, we try to work it out. Terence and Neil, if there's a problem in a relationship, we got to work it out. If we have irreconcilable differences, we should step away. And again, that's an intensely personal decision. If it is a case, because some people might be saying, you know, I could take a one horn, I could take a two horn. I know a woman that take horns for 15 years. 15 years. But when the gallon bottle held the gallon, she walked away and left it, right? Carry on. So hold on. If there's misalignment, why not talk it through, as you say, and get back to center instead of
But
stepping out? I think I'm missing something here.
but there are times where you talk and you talk and you talk and you talk, and the person still doesn't understand fully where you're coming from. You're still made to feel a certain type of way as a man. You still feel as if you're not heard. That you're screaming in a void and not being listened to. And then sometimes, yo, like people, this is where it boils on to, right? Because people get around the mulberry bush. Every situation is different. I think we need to get away from this hard and fast notion, right? As big grown people, that if this man cheat for me, it's done. Why is the man cheating? Why is this man unfaithful? And if he is unfaithful, does that mean that he is not loyal? Because we have been conditioned that if there is some infidelity, hit the door. I done with that. I gone, I move around him. But we are starting to think about where the relationship was at that time, if the relationship was salvageable, if I could have done differently as his partner. We are looking at it as a top-down view. Yeah, it is black or white. If you cheat, I done. If you don't cheat, we good. But there are situations where the man feels some type of way and doesn't feel safe to speak about certain things or feel in a space to confront certain things or feeling like he ain't getting away with the person. Does that mean the man gonna up and leave? No, it's not a deal breaker for the man. But the man may get some comfort from somewhere, and it's not like the man purposely goes out for it. Things happen, people. This is life. This is not, I don't know, this is not a board game where there are hard and fast rules for certain things. And I want people to understand, right, that because your man cheat on you or because your woman cheat on you, it don't mean that that is grounds for being done with. It depends on how it happened. It depends on where the relationship was. Were y'all gelling? Were y'all not gelling? How accountable are you for it? How willing were you to talk about it? Did you rebuff him? Did you rebuff her? Did you not create that space? Did you operate outside of a space of that was created before. We just talked about marriage, where a man, no cheating involved, being treated badly, would not leave. Man would not cheat, man would not leave. But the man committed to the woman he married, but not whoever she has become today. It comes down to understanding where and how something went wrong and the willingness to correct it and to listen and to hear and to be in those spaces. I am not saying that, oh, we had an argument last night again to cheat. That is not what I am coming from. That's not where I am coming from. Because for me, a horno just happened. There is a disconnect. There is something misaligned, and there been efforts to try to get things going.
But for me, I am giving you so some men look at it and shoot. Say I don't need to be wrong. And I think Kwame kind of hit on the ear for me. He's saying, I personally don't feel that a man needs to process sex with someone else through the lens of a bad or failing relationship. Sex is just sex and not a reflection of loyalty, commitment, etc. It is different for women. That's the concept that Derek is bringing, I think. And exactly that. That is exactly what I'm saying to you guys. Sex for men is just sex. Shoot, it's where you had American Pie. You made a lot of money over a young fella pushing the parts in a pastry, right? And what we didn't process from that is that, but yeah, this dude would put it in anything, and he went through that phase, through that movie, put in the salt, put it in a pastry, you get catch putting it in a wall or something like that. Men don't care. Sex for men is not a reflection of loyalty. Let me say that again. Sex for men is not a reflection of loyalty. I can say it one more time to press this home. Sex for men is not a reflection of loyalty. So don't feel because you want, yes, Jennifer, as they said, step out and come back. Don't feel that because that happened, that the man ain't loyal to you. It's just sex. I know that we've been conditioned for years to believe that it's one man, one woman, we happily ever after, cut scene, roll credits. I know that that's what we've been conditioned to believe. I get it. But the reality is, for some men, sex is just sex. For a lot of men, sex is just sex. Shoot, for most men, sex is just sex. And we gotta move away. Well, sorry, ladies, you gotta, if you intend to deal with a man or not, understand that that's just a harsh reality. His commitment to you will not be reflected by sex. It just ain't gonna happen.
I would say again, Derek made the qualifying statement of saying some men, mostly. But we need to also normalize that there are some of us men that truly believe in the connection, believe in the monogamous stance, and believe in the space of feeling safe and secure within a relationship. When that safety and security is kind of aligned, those men may find themselves in a situation where they're unfaithful, but it does not speak to them being disloyal. So for some men, sex is just sex. For some men, sex is a byproduct of an emotional connection that was born out of a misalignment in their relationship. Regardless, we need to stop looking at. I don't know if I agree with Derek saying, you go into a relationship knowing that a man just want to have sex or whatever. I would say that if you engage a man, he has a high sex drive. Man wants to have sex as often as he can. Be cognizant of that. I am not saying that if you don't get him more sex, you're going to find it somewhere else. However, let's be real. If you ain't having sex with your man for 6 months, the man can only masturbate for so long. So again, we got to understand that it's not a cookie cutter thing. Men are different and varied. However, it boils down to a man not feeling safe and secure where he is. Just like a woman. If a woman don't feel safe and secure, she may step out too. She may done with the
Well,
relationship. She may do whatever too.
and that's what the women say. So the women say if them cheat, them done in their brain. Yeah, Tanya says she's finding it hard to digest the nature of men. Um, and Carrie Ann is trying to balance both sides. And Kwame is saying, but near the women here say that if they step out in their head, they are done. So it don't make sense trying to have any relationship after that. Um, Tanya says not everybody to that statement. And Jennifer says, when the women say so, she is loose. I missed something there. Tanya is with Carrie Ann. She's jaded. Carrie Ann is saying, and when Clayton agreed with Derek, until you were told by the man he has formed emotional ties with this person, he has supposedly just had sex with. What then, Derek? Let me read that again. Until you were told by
Again,
but that's a different story. That's a different story. If it's emotions involved, that's a different thing. And Terence is saying it. Men don't catch feelings like that. It takes a while. So it means that something will have to be wrong. No, in your relationship, it means you've got to be leaving the door open somewhere else. As I sit down here, I want you ladies to understand what he's saying, right? Kwame said it. I can repeat that. Sometimes sex is just sex, right? Then mean it take, then shoot, then falling in love in it. Sometimes it's just sex, and I think the you'd be better off for it if you kind of reconcile that. I understand it can hurt. I understand it will hurt because we've been conditioned to think one man, one woman, pair off. I get that, but I really want you to understand, like, sometimes it's just sex. It's just you it there. You know what I mean? And a lot of times it's like, I'm busy, literally. So I don't want you to feel like because the man step out on you in your mind, but because he went with another woman, he ain't step out. If you're going to sleep in another woman, no. And that woman cooking for he, and all of a sudden, no, he going to buy furniture for this woman and putting a
that is a different.
TV she hosts. That's a different story altogether.
He is no committed to that woman and her well-being,
especially
on that level.
Especially if he's not doing those things at your house. That's a different story. Because there are men of means, there are men who have means to support two households. Right? But Marvin Gaye said it best. Wherever I lay my hat, that's my home, right? Sanchez covered that a couple of years later. But I know that this is a hard truth to and Tanya saying it's a rough truth. It is a rough truth. Sometimes sex is just sex. And I want think about it. Think about it. Let me say you had a man with a man of considerable means, a man that he treating you good. You know, work functions, you on his arm, y'all going out, introduce you to whoever, whatever. You are known as the steady girlfriend, wife, whatever you want to call yourself. You are known as that, right? He's a very prominent man working. Shoot, you don't even go to work if you don't want to. You put the car in the garage, food in the cupboards, everything covered, right? Now, you find a man like that attractive. Obviously, other women ain't gonna find that man attractive. Obviously. And depending on sex, exercise them, right? You might decide, hey, shoot, this thing look hot. I can deal with this thing. And I don't say thing to be disparaging to the females, but this is how we think. This is how we process it, right? Make it ease a little piece by the side, come back home, all is well, right? Are you willing, ladies? And this is the honest question now. Are you willing to decide, you know what? He step up with a young thing. I done with this here. I going back at my mother and live a little bit and let he get on with his business. So now you go along back home at your mother for a little bit to catch yourself or whatever, to you find your own place. And now you gotta pay your own bills. You gotta scramble and do everything for yourself. You're no forced to go back and work. Don't get triggered by this that's called because you can take a horn. And is it really a horn? Is it really a horn?
But you see,
who was it? Teresia that says it's only a horn when you take it on. That was a big soca tune back in the day.
A horn is a horn.
Only when you take it on.
But hold on a minute, right? I think we because
I see you, Kwame. I see you.
So this is what I can say on this, right? This is what I can say on this. I don't, and that's the thing, the beauty about this space, because we don't speak for all men individually, but collectively we clearly do, because I am of the school of thought, how I was raised, how I look at relationships, etc., is that there is a level of stick-to-itness to a relationship, meaning that if there's a misalignment, you try to realign. Yeah? If the man or woman does not feel empowered, safe, comfortable, or whatever, not in the space where he wants to leave because he tries to fix it, he tries to say how he feels, she tries to say how they feel, and it always comes to, it's not coming to a conclusion. There's still a rift. And within that time period...
And I am saying, there doesn't need to be a misalignment for that to happen. Right. It doesn't need to be a misalignment. Sex is sex.
Well, I am different. I a little different. So with that being said, it is not as cut and dry as the man went out, man's a dog. That's essentially what I think both of us are saying here, regardless of how we get to this. If the man step out, the man's a dog. Man ain't committed. He's a stinking dog, this and that, and the next and the third. It is not so cut and dry, people. It is not. It is not. You can either, as a woman, you can either engage a man like me, or you can engage a man like Derek, or rather the schools of thought that either of us have. Regardless, the question is, the question is this a question of his loyalty? So I don't know. I got a slight headache though.
I'm loving this conversation. We can wrap this up because we gone way past where we normally would stop.
Yeah.
Terence is saying some men of means can manage 3 households. Yeah, but don't throw away your stuff because shoot, once you're suffering, good to go.
That's another thing. I was a good man, yo. Was a good let me be real here, right? Let me be real here, because for me, I find this a bit. There are men that are good men, do everything right, and still feel that they're not doing good enough by their partner based on things they say, things they do, etc.
I think we're getting caught up, right, Neil? I think what's going on is that women would love for them to be able to have a guy who is going to meet that guy that I kind of described earlier and have him all to themselves. The reality is, shoot, even for us as men, we know that if we set us a certain kind of woman, we can go to compete. That's just the reality, right? And we got to be able to, and we recognize that. Women, you can go and compete too. I know, again, it's a hard truth. Kwame asked if it was Jeff Bezos and runs out because, shoot, Jeff Bezos divorced a woman and the woman become an instant multi-millionaire. You know what I mean?
Billion. billion.
Billionaire because why she had helped him build his business and stuff like that. So she walked away to half. That's different. He had no problem writing that check. You know what I mean? Um, but they had a whole set of stuff. You feel that he had put some horns and shit before they get to that point?
But
Man, Jeff
you see,
Bezos.
I hold on. You see, that's for me that's a bit speculative, and also to even if he did have options and he exercised those options or whatever, right? The point is that none of you none of you in here is a Jeff Bezos right now or gonna deal with a Jeff Bezos anytime
Yeah,
soon.
but the I
So
get is trying to make is that you kind of work out your head. Okay, is it worth it, right? And shoot, Terence says no, please, there ain't leaving for that. It's stupid because if you got everything else is covered. Shoot, you even get the sex you want on a regular. Everything else is covered. They might say, you know what I mean? Exercise this option here. Yeah, you know, but that's me. And that I know, ladies, it's a rough truth, but it's the truth. I ain't gonna bullshit you. It's the truth. Carrie Ann, she said, Tanya, I think early retirement is in my near future too. Tanya, if she retires tonight, Nika seems a little beaten. A heart is a heart, only way you take it on. Not for one. Started boys like KMC. Thank you, Terencia. Tanya Neely, honestly, I feel like a fool thinking the way you think because I feel like most men are in the Derek category. Jennifer says I may drop out a horn in him. How about that? Shoot. Again, a horn is only a horn way to take it on. Um, so you may drop back a horn in him. Just don't get caught out because you know most of the paternity court things is in a break. Well, that's happened, right? Talia is asking if Nick has returned as well. Jennifer is saying she was horny back with a young boy. And that's fine. Ain't anything wrong with that. But you find sometimes some people accept that that's how the relationship will go. You take a horn here, don't bring the diseases, don't bring the outside children, don't bring the scandal. We good to go. We can rock with it. Terencia say, okay, Neil, I take your point. Omar, Jennifer, y'all, just saying, responding to Jennifer, can't be vexed, but he shouldn't be vexed. He shouldn't. If you're playing the games, you don't win all. Natalia appears to be the best option, which is what Nick is saying. Terence is asking, what is a good woman? I ask that question often, so like Neil, I got questions. Tonya, she says she's mentally unfit for this playing field. Carrie Ann Terencia wondering about my resume, boy, because this talk making me question a few things. Jennifer says, speak for yourself, Neil. Comment says, nah, we got double standards with respect to dropping back a horn. Steven says, think about the young boy's feelings. Dion says, you laugh, but this is all the truth. It is. Terencia says, look, I will say again, I just need someone that meets me the point of my need, not financial, but someone I can grow with, be at his side and support him, and I expect the same. Does it happen immediately? No, we have to work towards it. Yeah, that's a fact. And here's the thing: the challenge you have, ladies, as you earn more and stuff like that, you gotta be prepared to date down a little bit, take the hit. It's just what it is. Tanya is saying is depressing. Yeah, you're after the hard pill to swallow, but that's what it is. I am sorry, ladies, that this had to be a moment of a come to Jesus moment for you tonight. But yeah, we come to shoot straight. We don't come to bullshit. So that's what it is tonight, folks.
yep.
We've rolled on. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for the
I kind of
engagement.
yeah. Yeah, thanks so much for the engagement. I mean, again, we may not all agree, but I think spaces like this of discourse and kind of getting a mutual understanding of both genders is the beginning of getting somewhere. Um, so, you know, all I can say is that I am thankful for this space. I am thankful for the engagement. I'm thankful for all of you that watch. Tell your friends because the more people we can engage, the better I think this will be in the end. Um, at the end of the day, these are our perspectives. Neither of us claim to be experts or whatever. Yeah, boy, I don't know what's going on with the chat.
Yeah,
Yeah, we don't claim to be.
Carrie Ann is saying I tested her doctorate in psychology tonight. I'm happy that I did, and Kwame is saying dating down is another podcast. So yeah, probably. I think we should definitely do that. Teresa is saying I dated down already. It did not end well. Baby situation, we get you. Nika is saying that the person TC is asking for is looking like a unicorn. Um, Toya say a 4-2 fairies. Uh, Jennifer saying no, you don't do that. You don't date down. Well,
This has been this. I ain't gonna lie. This has been a very interesting one. It is clear that more discussion has to be had. We still gotta keep pushing and doing what we're doing. We still encourage you guys to, you know, watch, engage, let us know how you all feel based on our experiences and how we see it and things that we've learned. Even Derek and I can disagree, but we can still kind of understand that we are speaking from. I am speaking from my perspective and my experiences as a man. Derek is speaking from his experiences and his, things that he's gone through as a man. And I, this is all it is, discussion. So we appreciate y'all. We thank y'all. Derek, again, I think this 3 hours. Boy, this one is a marathon. So
yeah.
yeah, I got a slate headache. Need to get something to eat. So Derek, hit them up with what we tell them every
Yeah,
episode at
man.
the end.
As usual, guys, give us a follow the page, bring your friends, send them to the Facebook page. Also, we on IG as well, the Senate Podcast 246. You can give us a follow on IG, share it with your friends, share the discussion, have the discussions as well. And as always, try to be the best version of you for you. We'll talk again next week, guys. I know today was a little rough. We'll talk again.
Trust me. Some of the ones we got lined up. You see, we brought Omar, our first guest, the other day, and that was nice and level, right? That was nice and docile, right? What going on from here now? It can get a bit more divisive,
contentious,
because these are things in the communities of men and women that need to be addressed and talked about, and it will touch some buttons for both men and women. So be prepared.
It will.
All right, my brother. Well,
thanks for coming through, guys. We love whenever we can see you
thanks
all
on
Tuesday.
All right, peace and love. Stay safe,
Laters.
and until next time, good night, everybody.